Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tony Hinchcliffe in the house.
Yeah.
The man is back.
Good to be back, guys.
Tony, I want to ask you a question. You smoke, but you also have had some experience with a product products from a company called On It. And
I don't know if they can help your lungs though. I think they're looking at that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they can. I take Alpha Lungs every day.
Alpha Lungs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
do you smoke?
Alpha Lungs for Tony Hinchcliffe. You travel with Rogan. He is a user of his products. True or false?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's what I love about it. The guy starts a company and goes, I take it all. I'm going to start a company. Yeah. And that's how On It started. Basically, Rogan taking Alpha Brain. Mm-hmm. He got obsessed with it.
And you know me, B, I don't do any show without it. I actually got it right here.
Yeah, you do. You actually have Alpha Brain.
I always have it.
Right now.
I'm addicted to it.
The people that talk about it use the product, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Aubrey Marcus uses it. Joe Rogan uses it. Tony Hinchcliffe uses it for his lungs.
There's a ton of people. Onit.com/fighter, 10% off. Go to onit.com/academy right now.
My hand is touching a kettlebell right now,
man,
you guys.
It feels good.
It's colder. It's weird how On It metal is colder than the air.
That's so cool that they make a Kevin Hart kettlebell.
Hey, man.
I love that.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Well, onit.com/fighter, 10% off. Get on.
Tony Hinchcliffe has his Netflix special hitting the air on Friday. It's called One Shot. And I think you called it One Shot because literally you shot it in one shot, which is unheard of.
Right.
And what's that mean, one shot? Just continuous?
Dude, you just let the
one
camera
take.
roll.
I hired a Steadicam operator and a director and an audio guy, and we went to the Ice House in Pasadena, one of our favorite clubs, and I only had one show. Most guys shoot a special. They take 2, 3, 4 shows and cut all the different cameras together. You get the best version of every joke, which is great. Great to do.
That's
I love
what a
it.
lot of guys do, right?
But in order for me to get a good get this out there, I knew that I needed to do something because I'm relatively unknown, not big from TV or anything, just coming from the underground. So I said, you know what? I was halfway through the movie Birdman, and I'm like, this has my attention. It makes me not want to blink. I don't know. I don't want to use the restroom during it. I have to pee, and I don't want to leave because the shots are so good. You're so attached because there's no cutaways. There's no editing.
Is that how they shot Birdman?
Well, they actually used trickery.
They had long shots,
really long shots, which are beautiful, and it was dark and
so
red.
for you guys that don't know how they shoot a film, always, and I've never seen an exception. Always, you have. Sometimes, like if you shoot, like say the Goldbergs or something, you have at least 2 cameras.
At least.
And also you shoot. Like usually if it's one camera, if you're doing a scene, you're going to shoot a master, which means you shoot everybody in the shot. Then you shoot from one angle. Then you shoot from the right angle, left angle, from behind. You
not
get both,
Tony. Not Tony. You're like Michael Keaton.
57 minutes. If I'm leaning against the wall in that headliner parking spot outside of the Ice House, I'm leaning against the wall. It starts. I put my phone in my pocket. It follows me into the club.
Dude, I love
Joey Diaz is finishing his set as I walk in. He goes, "You motherfuckers ready? It's time for his first special. Put it up for the funniest young comic, Tony Hinchcliffe." I walk up. I give Joey a hug. I do an hour. It follows me back out of the club. All in one shot.
See, and I love that.
Did anyone ruin it? Like on the way to go, fuck face, or something like that?
Well, fun fact is that at one point, the Steadicam operator, even though we warned the audience so many times, one of the audience members had their foot out, and the Steadicam operator is like, he's moving slowly and calmly through this audience. And he gets tripped up at one point.
Amateur.
And like it goes like brrr, and so my director had to go in frame by frame, like millisecond by millisecond, and restabilize this image. Like that's pretty much the bulk of the editing because there is no editing in it whatsoever. And
see, what's great about that is that is the comics experience.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to give people because it's dangerous when you go see somebody do an hour-long set. No matter how great they are, how amazing it is, you'll notice sometimes there's a bump. I mean, it's a hard thing to do stand-up comedy in a live show, and you'll notice sometimes, there's just like a moment. Like in this one, for example, I love this hour. I got sort of lucky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I've been working these jokes for years. there was one point where my throat, even though this never happens, just went completely dry.
Damn.
Just dry mouth, dry throat in the setup of a joke. And I knew that it was one shot. And so I grabbed I had to grab water, else I was going to start choking, take a sip of water. And I go, most comedians during a special take a sip of their drink during a big applause break. This is a special.
Tight move,
you know what
man.
I mean?
And it's your first one.
Yeah, first one.
Nerves are flying, I'm assuming.
You know, I went into it.
There's a lot on the line.
I love UFC, and I always make analogies and comparisons to the two things, you know. And for this, I went into it in like championship mode. I ate well. I said, I've done the training. I've done the work. Let's just do this. Let's just let it vent. And so I wasn't really nervous.
I think that's what you have to do. Like a lot of times people might be good at one thing, whether it's comedy, fighting, whatever. But if the rest of your life is chaos, it shows up, man. Even in your work, even when you're on stage, even when you're fighting, playing basketball, whatever it is. If your life is chaos outside, it catches up with you.
Totally.
You have to be disciplined in everything.
In a way, when you try to be really good at something, that's kind of why they say it's how you kind of clean your life up. Get really good at something. Try to be really good at one thing. And then if there's no way your life can be a mess. There's no way you can be doing drugs and drinking till the wee hours and whatever it is you do. Even if you're in a shitty relationship. We had an acting teacher, Jeffrey Tambor, who he'd be helping some actress or an actor try to be a good actor, and they weren't working, but they were really talented. And he'd look at you and he'd do in front of 80, 100 people, go, "Who are you dating right now?" Oh boy. And be like, "Really?" And tell me about that person. And basically it'd say, you got to break up with that person. That person, you're dating somebody. You're ensuring your own failure by dating a fucking train wreck. Well, there was always an issue. Like he used to always say this thing was kind of like, wow, being successful is really easy. It's getting all the shit out of the way that's difficult.
True that. Are you a detailed guy? Like, did you have your outfit picked out?
Actually, funny. Usually I am with outfits and stuff, but like everything else, this was very strategic. I knew that I mean, one shot has like triple meanings on this. Yeah, I shot it in one shot, but I also had only one shot to get it. I had one crowd, one audience. I hired the Steadicam operator for 1 hour. You know what I mean? Like there was no pickups. There was no chance for a mess up.
And also, by the way, just really to interrupt you, usually traditionally to shoot a special costs at least $100,000.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, with editing, really, you're talking $150,000.
Yeah.
That's low end.
Yeah.
And there's very little exceptions. What did this cost you?
That's the only thing they asked that I'm not allowed to talk about.
That's fine, but we all know. We all know that. In other words, it was way less than that.
I'm gonna tell you that yes.
Wasn't cheap though, I'm sure.
Not cheap, but I produced it myself.
Well,
I started a production company because of this.
Oh, tight move. And did you know Netflix was going to pick it up before you shot it, or did you shop it around? Like you shot it and then shopped it a bunch?
I had no idea.
Because how do guys decide with Netflix? Like I know a little bit of the business because of B here, and I know how his agent shop it around. How did you decide who to go to?
Well, normally agents would shop it around, and you're an established comedian, so you have a chance of getting in at Netflix like that, like Brian.
Took me a while though. Took me a while just to get them to watch it.
Exactly. Well, they're number one, and it's hard to.
Netflix is number one.
Baby.
Unless you're a girl or or you're black.
It's
like HBO. It's all girls and African American.
You said it, Brennan. I'm not saying it.
Right.
Well, I can say I'm not a comedian. But if you're a girl, you're fucking flying off the shows. Black guy, yeah, man.
Well, it's not. Look, there are.
I'm not saying they're not talented and funny. I'm just saying you see a common theme in all of entertainment.
Yes.
Like, look at the analyst, basketball, football, UFC. You're not seeing a lot of white guys.
In a way, it's the only time in history, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, where you could sort of say being a white heterosexual male,
it's the hardest thing to be.
is actually not an advantage. Let's just put it that way. It might not be we've been ruling the roost forever.
And there's also this thing that's going on in every aspect of life right now, where equality and let's get everything. That guy's handicapped. Let's watch his thing.
I have an idea. How about the most talented guy gets a special? How about the most talented guy is on the UFC now? How about the most talented guy is telling all the jokes? In the public?
Well, I also think though, to be fair, there is a huge audience. For example, with Aziz Ansari, there's a huge underfed audience.
He's also very talented.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's a huge underfed audience of people who are of that ethnicity, whether it's Pakistani, whether it's Indian, whether
I'm not
it's
saying they
Malaysian.
don't deserve it.
I'm not just saying. All I'm saying is that what you have is a group of people who go, wait a minute. That dude looks like me. He comes from, at least his parents come from where I'm from or the area I'm from. We're so underrepresented, and human beings are tribal. Human beings,
agree.
they go,
They
that's a guy
gravitate towards
speaking
that.
for us. There's a guy, so.
But with Netflix, like you see a guy like Louis C.K. or like Mark Maron, a lot of them don't release them on Netflix, right? They do it themselves, which I talked about Brian. I wish he would have done, but his agents probably know better than I do.
Well,
but,
it's
a
one
lot of
of
guys
those
release it
things
themselves.
because I was thinking about doing that myself.
Because you have a good network, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we would blast it out,
And
Rogan would blast it out,
Totally.
Diaz,
And the same goes for Brian's special. But what going to Netflix does is it brings new people into your podcast
100%.
and to your merch and to everything else.
Instead of just your
so
fan
that
base.
instead of just the people that are already know you, the people that are already fans, dude, Netflix has over 75 million subscribers.
and 75 million
and
watched
just
Making a Murder.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And just to put it more in perspective, on top of those numbers, HBO, I mean, maybe like 25 or 30 million, I think they're at subscribers.
Wow.
Comedy Central, only gets maybe a million at some point.
Damn.
And you got to remember with HBO and Comedy Central, your thing plays one time. And then good luck finding it on the website.
Or marketing. They're not blasting it out HBO.
They're not, right. Whereas Netflix, it's sitting there waiting for you. And you get in somebody's algorithm and you're there. And we're gonna get in their algorithms because there is a comedy boom. And once you watched Bill Burr's new one, and once you watched Tom Segura's new one,
then it goes
you're
suggestions for you.
You're damn
There's
right,
Tony.
Whereas those other networks, they don't give you that chance.
Come on,
plus
this is
they make
exciting.
you watch commercials and stuff. So I'm so happy for you and for me because Netflix is the best place to be. It's like having a podcast right now. It's like people want content. That's where they're going, and
It's a really good time to be a comic. By
Rogan
the way, it's a good
Rogan
time.
says the best. So
Yeah.
it's the golden age of comics.
Might be.
Oh, yeah.
It's certainly a good time to be, and we're talking about being white, and it's actually a great time. A lot of you were talking about this. A lot of really successful comics are white guys in their late 40s and early 50s.
Oh, it's never a bad time to be white. Am I right? Give it up.
Shit.
the only thing though, there's never been a white guy on a kettlebell.
That's a good point.
This is true. This is true. I'm not gonna touch
Anyways,
that.
you come in, I paint that thing white next time. It's
Yeah,
just all
exactly.
white.
Exactly. It's all white.
Looks like Joe Rogan.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm super.
So are you? Because now, once the special airs, then you're back on the road. You can't do that old material. Because people are expecting all new shit. So you're back to the drawing board.
I'm so lucky to get to work with a guy like Joe Rogan regularly. And when we do these theaters, I go out, I do a half an hour, and then he goes out and just blows it out, hour and a half, 2 hours. And working with Joe, what it does more than anything is it inspires me to continuously work on new material.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
If you come up with Joe, if you're hanging out with Joe and you keep doing the same shit, you're gonna hear about it from him.
Yeah.
He's gonna roast you.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. He doesn't deal with
And-
that well.
And I have never gotten that from him because I've always wanted to be one step ahead of that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want, he
probably why
pays
you're on the
well.
road
He's
with
the
him.
most fun. He's got the best fans, out of stand-up comedy followings. So I've always been like, how do I keep this going? How do I up it? How do I get him to be a huge fan of mine? You know what I mean? So I've always been writing. I'm almost pretty much halfway to my new hour because as soon as I taped that, I started going new stuff. And it's not easy. And there's ups and downs, and sometimes there's long setups and rough patches in the beginning, in the first couple weeks.
Last night for me, I had to follow. I did this charity. I had Sebastian, Eliza,
Jesus,
and then Ian Edwards, and all of
Murderers
them
Row.
they're pretty polished right now, and I'm doing new stuff. Yeah. It's a little nerve wracking when you gotta follow three monsters, and then bang, and then you get up there, and then but you have to do it.
Yeah,
you have to do it.
There's some comics who just bust out specials, huh? It's just like boom, boom.
It's not
boom.
I think new material is one thing, making it thematic and the best it can be. Like even Burr says it takes him about 2.5 years. Certainly takes me at least 2 years.
Right.
And I write pretty fast, I think. And, so most people, I think stand-up is one of those things that has to percolate and marinate. One of the things you see a lot of comics do, as I see, is that they're hanging out at the clubs. I saw this from day one, 20 years ago. And I would look at them and go, oh, boy. You're just, this is a stagnant pond. Oh. And you guys are all hanging out in your stagnant.
Gig to be worst. We have no
But
drive.
they'll do it for years, dude. You see these guys for years and they never, I'm talking about guys who do
O.J.
stand-up
Simpson
20 years and they
jokes
don't
and
have a
shit.
special.
Oh, yeah.
20 years
Just
and they said they're
old
doing the
school.
same shit over and over again.
Oh, there's a lot of guys that don't have a single special, that don't have a single half hour even. You know what I mean?
I don't get it.
A lot
I would go
of them.
crazy.
You'd be labeled as a failure then.
Well, also a crazy person.
Well,
By
not
the
even
comedians,
crazy.
though. Audiences don't even know the difference. They go see at the Comedy Store, they see you murder for 15 minutes. Like, you stand out of the bunch, but they don't realize
He's been doing
that
that
it's
for
the best 15. Like, for
15
example,
years.
I'm not going to say who it is,
I
but
know who it
when
is.
I was at the
I'm gonna
Comedy
guess.
Store, I know who you think I'm going to say, but I'm actually talking about somebody else. When I first got to the Comedy Store, there was this comedian, older man, who was murdering in the main room on a Saturday night, and I'm like, wow, this guy is a genius. And I'm working in the phones at the time, and I remember finding this VHS tape. I mean, this is how old I am, I guess. It's like literally, or how beat the Comedy Store was when I was working there 8 years ago.
A VHS.
There was a
sitting there
VHS
with a
tape.
cannon with a fuse and leeches for bloodletting.
Yeah, literally. And there's a VCR. Then the VHS is a Comedy Store 15th anniversary. So that's 72, 82. So 1987, right?
God,
I put in this VHS tape. I'm not lying.
Same bits.
Not same exact 15 minutes. Same exact
This
set.
guy's awesome.
And it went.
Yeah.
He
For 30
immediately
years.
went.
Good job.
He immediately went from being who I thought was a monster and one of my favorite comedians at the
loser.
time to literally my biggest fear.
Oh.
Like to be stuck on the same material, and it kills, by the way.
I think that's a form of insanity. Like, I really do. I think
You don't think it's a comfort thing?
I just think anybody who could do that, who could literally, I would go crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually what I marvel about with the Rolling Stones. Like, I'll see them and here they are again, guys, 30 years later, and they're singing the same song.
Well, they're old as fuck.
Who cares? When
Well,
I'm old
how
as fuck, I'm not
dare
going to
you,
be
the Rolling
doing
Stones?
fuck those guys. How about that? Yeah, I said it. Fuck those guys. Fuck the fact that they didn't write. They stopped basically writing and being great 30 years ago. Fuck the Rolling Stones.
At least they had some good things
Yeah,
going for a while.
30 years
this
ago.
comic only had 15 minutes for 30 years.
No doubt.
You know what?
No
I
doubt.
agree with Brian on this one. I agree. Rolling Stones
get it.
should have kept writing. Look at Bowie. Bowie's a monster, right?
monster.
New album just came out.
To critical
Weeks.
acclaim.
Yeah, and he did it with cancer. He shot the videos with cancer, and he killed
That's
with
gangster.
cancer.
Yeah,
that's his
another
gangster.
level.
What
That's
kind of
another
cancer did he have? Do we know?
They kept it sort of secret. I'm guessing pancreatic because it hit hard. 18
fast,
months.
right?
Well,
Yeah,
18 months, you
sucks,
don't live
man.
that long with pancreatic. Usually it's 3 months. It's a
Unless
bad
If you're
situation.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Bowie, yeah. Bowie's
If you're
the only-
David Bowie.
The thin Duke, the thin white Duke is was able to do that. Do you have any heroes? Do you have any creative heroes who are not in the comedy world?
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino, big time.
I saw the new
That's
movie.
a good one.
Yeah.
You liked it?
I
Was
loved
it
it.
Hateful Eight?
Yeah, I loved it. It's a lot of setup in the beginning.
I heard it's a little slow.
In the beginning, if anybody who told you it's slow at the ends, but effing crazy because
You can
it's
cuss
like
on this.
extreme.
I felt like it was. I didn't see it, but the previews got me thinking about Django, and I didn't know if I wanted to see another as great as Django was.
Sign me the fuck up.
I love
Django,
Django.
but
Yeah.
Western?
I loved Django.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this because
Yeah.
you guys love dialogue like I do.
I love
you
dialogue.
know, and so there's a lot of talking and anticipation building in this, and it's Kurt Russell and Samuel L. Jackson's like the lead in this. Like they sort of been
He's
keeping
the
that
best.
secret.
I love Kurt Russell too.
Oh, exactly. But Samuel L. like this is his Django. Like he's like the
Ooh.
main guy, and he just kills, and it's beautifully shot. I mean, the snowy. You're like out in this shed with these guys. It's almost all shot in this one tiny little, house. So the
Ooh, I'll see
tension's
it
like
now.
super built.
You sold me. My brother told me it was slow.
Yeah, Tarantino like saved my life. In fact, it's a lot of the
Saved your life?
Yeah, basically, because I was so bored my freshman year of college. Like I was like depressed.
Where'd you go to college?
Ohio State.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Buckeye in the house.
Totally. I just
Tight
got a
move.
Christmas card from AJ Hawk the other day. That's like a Buckeye's
He's
dream.
the best guy, man.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Are you friends with him?
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you do his podcast?
Yeah.
I think it's called the Hawkcast.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's crazy. Tom Segura did his podcast like randomly, and I guess AJ Hawk's like, dude, I love roasting. And Tom Segura's like, oh, really? Well, yeah, I know the guy that writes on those roasts. Andy's from Ohio, and he's a huge Buckeyes fan. And AJ Hawk's like, who? And he's like, Tony Hinchcliffe. He's like, oh, I love Tony Hinchcliffe from the Rogan. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, AJ Hawk is the guy that I was rooting for forever. Like, huge
He's like a
fan.
Buckus Award winner, first round draft pick. He was the
Yeah.
team
I
captain.
thought
He's
AJ
a
Hawk
monster.
played for Notre Dame. Am I wrong about that?
No,
Okay, well,
here's
Played at
why you
Ohio
think
State.
that.
Obviously, Ohio State.
The reason why you think that is because
Sorry, guys.
his girlfriend,
Same thing though, right?
his girlfriend, AJ Hawk's girlfriend, is
Dated.
Brady Quinn's sister, and AJ Hawk played
There
Brady
you go.
Quinn in a championship football game and crushed him.
Crushed
He's just
him.
slamming
Lit
his
his ass
girlfriend's.
up. Lit his ass
Brady
up.
Quinn was
Yeah.
at the Comedy Store, and I
Good-looking
met him.
dude.
Well, probably
He was
one
my
of-
training partner for 4 years.
might be the best looking guy I've ever seen in some ways. I mean, in a
Him
lot
and
of ways.
Tim Tebow, I'd say.
Yeah, him
They're
and Team
up there.
Tebow are crushing it. What a nice guy. So you trained with Brady Quinn?
Forever, yeah.
Really?
And he's married to the Alicia, the Olympic girl. Remember the like most famous Olympic gymnast?
Oh,
The cutie pie?
Sure do.
Yeah, that's his girl. That's his wife. so-
Well done. How about those kids? Well done, Mr.
Yeah,
Quinn.
how
Is
about
he
him?
still playing football, and is he starting?
Of course not. Retired about 4 years
Brady
ago.
Quinn did.
Yeah.
Tough one for me because he was such a stud, but he played for a very short period of time.
Well, he got all, he looks like fucking just the perfect gentleman and
Yes.
quarterback. And then
Yes.
he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
It was terrible.
I remember that.
Had a rough go. And he was
Yeah.
back up at other places, then they let him go. But his thing was he got so much hype, right? Because he was on the front page of EAS,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Yes.
No shirt.
Yes.
Good dude, though.
Yeah,
Jeez,
but
Brendan,
God,
sounds like you want to hike him the ball or something. My goodness.
well, Brendan and I are both a couple gay men. You got to know
Really?
that.
Clearly gay.
Brendan and I, make no mistake, Brendan and I are a couple 1-2 gays.
Some
up
of the
here.
fan questions on our live tour. Brendan, are you really gay? Like we got that a couple times.
Dude.
No, just look like it.
Yeah, Brendan and I will take a man in. I mean, if Brady Quinn walked in here,
Well, more you. I just say gay comments and dress weird.
you would, and let's make one thing very clear, and I couldn't be more
All I
serious.
would say is that's a handsome dude.
Brent-
you would go, what are you? Wait, let me see your hands.
But here's the difference. Here's the
Start
difference.
giving him a foot rub.
Brendan will create a deep and lasting friendship based on how a man looks.
No.
Oh, 100%.
Hell no.
Brendan was his training partner because he liked watching the man work out. And
No,
make no
Lauren
mistake,
Landau, we had the same
you
training
know how hot
partner.
girls will surround themselves with other hot girls because they kind of love to see hot girls.
Yeah.
My friend over here.
I'm not
my
on
friend
their
over
level,
here,
man. I look like a turd with eyes next to him. I'm nowhere near
Hey,
him.
that's not true.
Next to Brady Quinn and Tim Tebow,
Well, I will.
I look
will
like I
admit,
have rickets.
I will admit that you're. I will admit.
I look like I have fucking
Well,
AIDS next to those two.
No. The rickets or AIDS would make you very skinny, but you might
Compared
look,
to them, I
you
am.
do look a little bit like you might look like the kid, the brother who didn't get
Has
as
Down
much.
syndrome?
Didn't get as much.
How long have you had the silver hair?
Oh God.
How long is this? How long have you been having
Special
the?
roaster.
How long have you had this Joe Biden haircut?
Joe Biden in the house.
Vice
About
President
2
Brendan
weeks.
Schaub.
About 2 weeks,
Vice
brother.
President.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that right when I pulled up, I was like, God, this fucking hair.
Somebody.
Tony's coming in. This could get ugly.
Somebody on Instagram or Twitter was like, look, Brendan Schaub got Brian Callen's real hair color. Like, you motherfucker. Yeah, he went gray. I actually like it.
It's fun to mix it up. When we were watching the edited versions of our show last night, I was like, I should probably go darker here.
Well,
I just wanted to always do it, so I was like, fuck it.
So many people want me to make fun of you, but I can't because I kind of like it, so it'd be fake. If I
Yeah,
made
it
fun
is
of
cool, by the way. You know,
Yeah,
I
it's
call
just
it Joe
something
Biden
different.
because I have to acknowledge it on a
Yeah.
professional level. But
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very funny. But if somehow he does pull it off because he's just a big
yeah,
galoot.
yeah, it's
Now, what can
amazing.
you do?
What I would do for your frame, it's
Oh,
incredible.
I would trade you. In
Bro,
a
how do you think I
Really?
felt? We did this.
Because I can't fit in that coat.
We're
I love that
naked.
coat, can't I?
We're naked in one of episodes of this web series that
Butt
we're doing.
naked all day.
And
Griffith's
Really?
I
Was
look
Brady
like
Quinn
I
in it?
look like a fucking I look like the kid that didn't get enough oxygen in the womb next to him.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. He's so fucking giant.
Yeah.
You look like a different human being. You know what you look like? And one of the things you look like, I look like a prairie cowboy who suffered from malnutrition, and you look like this incredibly well-fed Native American who's feeding me. You know,
just keep you alive.
Nutrition from the land. Like literally, I looked at him. I went, "Well, that's what you think of a like you know sort of a fantasy version of a Native American warrior is."
Yeah.
And then there's the white land settler.
Oh, yeah.
who just hasn't eaten in a month.
Sounds like you want to Pocahontas.
I want to Pocahontas.
Do you? Are they doing more roast?
Yeah.
they?
And that's another exciting thing about this Netflix thing is, it takes me. I'm known as, the killer writer in these roast rooms. So my whole goal, especially, has always been to get on the dais for one of those, because I feel like if I just get on one of these roasts that I can steal it, and all of a sudden people go,
There's
was
no
that
question.
guy?
Who's
no
that
question.
guy? That's the guy who's been fucking writing all these jokes.
Right.
Oh, and he has a special.
That's gonna happen,
Oh,
Tony.
and he's
That's
on
gonna
the road
happen.
with
And
Rogan.
I'm hoping that
Boom.
this Netflix special,
That's gonna happen, bro.
and doing it all in one shot, and taking those chances and everything puts me a little bit more as a performer and in the
Who
forefront.
the
of
fuck
that.
do we have to shake down to make sure you're on that
It'll
panel?
happen.
Comedy
happen.
Central, and hope, but I think that they're catching on. Hopefully they get it. I've sort of been, I feel like a little bit snubbed by them over the years, but you know what? It built a fire that made me want to shoot this special. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm sort of in gratitude of them as well. Because they fired me up. Sometimes people helping you can help you, and sometimes people neglecting you can help you. You know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
I'm gonna show them, and
Maybe walk in with blackface.
yeah, totally.
Well,
Bring a couple.
One idea.
Bring a couple kettlebells in there, you know what I mean? Just come in. What's up? What's up?
That wouldn't be too
Who is
offensive.
this? It's Tony's blackface.
Tony, he's
now.
pretending he's doing blackface.
He thinks he's gonna get a better gig if he's
And
blackface.
career over.
Yeah.
And all that work
Yeah.
destroyed. It's funny how people get found out for being assholes. And that's the one thing you don't have to worry about, as long as you're a good person. But you see people like their whole life is built on a reputation. They have all this money. They're living on top of a mountain, and a couple allegations, and
It all comes.
It catches
crumbling
up
down.
with me.
Living
If
on a
you're
house
a
of
bad
cards.
person, no one wants to work with you.
Living on
we
a
have
house of
friends
cards.
like that.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day on the road.
Yeah.
Just a guy that we were, friend
People
of
that
ours.
create and invent a persona,
Yeah.
and you got to stand on that house of cards. and
Totally.
it must be a tough, exhausting balancing act. I've never understood that,
Yeah.
where you're basically putting forth a different face. You're not being who you really are.
Oh, I can't even imagine. That's another one, Brian, where like you were talking about insanity. Like, yeah, I know it might sound crazy to listeners that like don't know about performing, or whatever, but to be doing something, to put on something fake when you could be doing something real that's really you, like the way that you, and the same goes for a lot of my favorites, like you're funny off stage like you're funny on stage. Like you'll move a certain way
Yeah.
and everybody cracks up.
I'm a silly goose.
Yeah, exactly.
all the time.
And like some people turn that on stage, and some people turn that off on stage and do something else, and it's like, what are you doing?
I
You're
know.
missing
We've
it.
had
Like,
comedians
that's-
in here who do that. Where I won't say names, but they're hilarious. Like they're special. Comedians are who I look up to. So when they come in here, I can't wait, man. Like the only time I've ever been nervous for the show is when Bill Burr came, because
Yeah.
I'm such a fan.
Right.
I actually didn't say a word, just because he can go, right. Like he has his own show.
Yeah.
He just rip off the top. So him and Brian did their thing. I just like, damn, this is dope.
I'm the
But
same
then we've
way.
had other comedians come in. And I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be hilarious.
I'm
And they're
literally
just
the
like-
same way with Bill Burr. For example, true story, last night I arrive at the Comedy Store. Rogan and Chappelle are in the parking lot, and I'm friends with both of them. And I'm like, yo, what's up, buddies? And even I'm in the back of my mind, there's a part of me that's like, God, I can't believe my life. Because they're like, yo, Tony, what's up? And Dave's like, yo, what's up, man? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm hanging with those guys, and Bill Burr walks up out of nowhere. He goes, man, you guys should have seen what I just did to the, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sort of like, I just curl into
Like,
like
oh,
a,
shit,
I
Bill Burr.
literally walked away without saying a word. I couldn't even say hello. Like, it's
He's a
so
beast,
bizarre.
man.
You're so right. There's something about
I know
Bill
what
where it's
it
just
is,
like,
man.
even with Chappelle and Rogan, I'm just like, oh, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry to be anywhere near you.
It's weird, man. Yeah, even me, whatever. With him, I was like,
I think it's interesting that you watch someone like Bill Burr and all those guys and Rogan, and as they get more and more successful in many ways, they get even more down to earth. There's no change. There's no change.
Bill Burr told me one of them. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He gave me one of the coolest lessons a few years ago. Another thing that's totally helped me get to where I am, and it's I like I said, I'm so shy when it comes to him because a great comedian is what I want to be. So there's nothing that I look up to and respect and worship more than that. You know what I mean? So I've been working the door. I was working the door at the Comedy Store for years. I had just become a paid regular, so I'm like 6 or 7 years in, maybe 6 years in. This is a couple years ago, and I've never talked to comedians. I was just always sitting there respectful, always out of the way. One night, I must have had a drink or two in me. I mustered up the guts. Bill Burr goes on stage, he kills. Afterwards, he's on the patio. I muster up the guts to go up to him. And I say something like, I just want to let you know, I'm so amazed by your work. And I think it's so wild how you can take a subject that just happened and you just talk about it and all of a sudden it's so great. And he goes, yeah, that's not what I do. That's not what you saw. And I go, what? He goes, I don't just come up with stuff and it's just, all of a sudden it's great. I sit there for hours and hours and hours. When you're sleeping in and you're playing video games and you're eating lunch with your girl, I'm writing. When you're chilling, I'm writing. When you're sleeping in, I'm writing. There
you go.
And I go, oh, now I get it. That's when it hit me.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how funny you are.
It's
it
mindset,
does.
bro.
It does. You have to be funny.
Yeah, but
it's too much competition.
It's still
It's a mindset.
work. It's not easy.
No.
It's not always going to be fun. You're not always going to want to do it. Just like training, I'm sure, for fighting. It's got to be hard.
It's got to be what you do. It's got to be part of your life.
I was lucky enough to go to Australia and sit there during that Rousey home fight, and the next day, everybody took the same flight back to LA,
Oh, you did the podcast with Dana, right?
Yeah, but before that, right before the plane boarded, we're sitting there and in the waiting for the plane to board, and I got to meet the trainer of Holly Holm.
Winklejohn?
No, the other one.
Izzy?
No, wait. What's
Greg Jackson.
Yeah, Greg Jackson. That's it. And he told us, he goes, it's amazing because she worked for this. She got herself there, Holly Holm. He goes, she would be training so hard that she would go to her car and cry, literally cry for 15, 20 minutes, come back in and start training again.
Jesus Christ.
She's a monster.
And she would do it again. She'd go another 3 or 4 hours just non-stop. Go back and cry again. Just, what am I doing? This is crazy. Go back in. Do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like,
there's no mistake.
That's what you have to do. There's no, I was just a good boxer, so I beat her. That's not what happened. It's work.
And there's no comic who's like, I just go up there and wing it.
That's right.
What?
That's right. And Bill made a point to sort of put me in a place. He wasn't mean about it. He goes, you're looking
setting
at
a standard.
he goes, you're looking at it the wrong way. I'm working, man. I'm writing that stuff. Hours and hours.
Best advice you could have given anybody.
Ever.
And I think once you stop doing that, it's funny because sometimes success can ruin somebody. I don't want to out anybody, and I don't know the guy. But if you look at a guy like Sean Penn, I don't know what's happened. I don't know what he's doing. But I'll tell you something,
he's
man.
Interviewing the biggest drug kingpin in the world,
he's not,
asshole.
No, he's got major problems. And see people like this
Rolling
who
Stone
are
begs to differ.
No, they don't beg to differ. He's got people like that. You see some actors who are, I don't want to get into this, but there are people who get that successful and are doing just railing and drinking and getting to a point where they're unhireable.
He likes to party.
It's one thing to party. It's another thing to get yourself where you're basically unhireable, where your movies aren't making money. And you see this shit all the time with people who get super successful and just
fizzle.
Is he
filthy rich or says, fuck this acting thing?
I think it's something else is going on. I think that the point I'm making is you have a guy like Bill Burr who's crushing it and only getting better. And then you see people, you see this a lot. I don't know what it is. Sometimes success, and I'm kind of fascinated with what happens.
Well, they say money success shows the real person, right?
Maybe, but
because you don't need anything for anyone, so it's your true colors come out.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess maybe there was something going on before, and maybe you've always been doing it, and you get to be 55, and now it's really catching up to you, right? Like you just do more of it. I've seen this with very rich, some certain bankers who make a fortune, and they become consumer machines. They have their life becomes a number, and all they're doing is drinking and boozing.
But
and
they were
and
never
drugging.
fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that.
But
I
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who get to a certain level and the creativity's just not there. Like that strive and that hunger. Same with fighters. Like you're not going to see a really good world champion fighter who's grinding out from Malibu or Calabasas.
Right.
There's just no drive.
Yeah.
There. There's always a plan B.
Yeah.
You
Like
know
where
what
I'm
saying?
from in Youngstown, Ohio, dreadful place. It should have
Lot
a
of good
5-hour
athletes
long
come out of there.
documentary.
Lot
A
of
lot of
good
good
athletes.
athletes because
Yeah.
Amazing
it is
athletes.
the worst. If
Yes.
you're not on the basketball court shooting, you're gonna get in trouble. If you're not
You're gonna
in
be
the
working
gym
at Denny's.
wrestling, like I was, I would not be here. I would not be anywhere
Yes.
if I didn't luckily join the wrestling
Yep.
team
I
in
feel
high
the same
school.
way. I
All
feel the
my
same way.
discipline, everything that gets me up for these airplanes early in the morning, every little bit that I do have, which is a little bit because I'm still a stand-up.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, how hard I want to hit that snooze button in the morning is crazy.
Yeah.
But I got it all from wrestling.
I'll tell you what was weird. I didn't tell you this, but I didn't mention it. When we were at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco,
So fun.
they had all the pictures of all the comedians up there. And it was the first time I've never been really overwhelmed in a UFC fight in a stadium or anything like that. When we were at Cobb's, our first stop on the West Coast tour, sold out crowd.
Yeah.
And we were up there, and you and I were going over all the dialogue, like bullshitting. And I'm sitting there, and I'm nervous, and I look up, and I see, I don't know why I didn't tell you this. I see a picture of Robin Williams, like, oh, he's my mom's favorite. I was like, oh, shit. And it's a picture of him on the stage.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hell.
You're
no.
sharing
I
the
started to get
stage.
I started to get overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I went back in the other room and laid down, shut
You
my
got
eyes.
so-
I remember
you
that. I remember that.
Remember I went away for a while.
Yes.
I went into the back room, turned the lights off.
I
and
figured
just
you were
shut my
nervous.
eyes.
I was like, oh boy.
Well, I just shut my eyes because sometimes if you think about too much.
Yes.
you
He
know,
was
so I just
stressed
wanna-
out, man. You turn the lights back on, and his hair was silver.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
For real.
He had a breakdown.
His true colors came out.
See, it's so important to know what's
Gay as
motivating.
I get money and just turn gay as fuck.
You actually dyed that silver. It came out rainbow originally, just a Roy G. Bib up
I'm
there.
just trying to shake
That's
this
right.
rainbow.
That's
dog.
right. His rump was perking. He was getting dressed down by certain people in San Francisco. But I just think that like whatever is driving you better be the right motivation. I don't know why people implode or explode when they get super famous. Some people can't handle it.
Right.
I don't know what is that Sean Penn effect? What's going on? Is that
Might
just that
hate
you
himself.
did you get to the top and realize it's when you pull that curtain you're like fuck.
Can I tell you what it is?
What?
He's getting beat by the young guys. He's
100%.
instead of him keeping working, instead of him working on his craft,
Yeah.
right? He's one of these guys that look at Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy came in.
He's a beast.
This guy can play anything. Sometimes I'm watching Tom Hardy in a movie and I don't realize till the end that it was Tom Hardy.
He's
Yeah.
good.
He's literally so
He's so
good.
good.
You don't even know.
Did you
it's
see
him.
Reverend?
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Dude, I worked with him on Warrior, man.
I'm
I spent 2
obsessed
months
with
with
him
that
right
fucking
now.
He's
dude.
a beast.
It
He's a
doesn't even
beast.
make any sense. He plays. He goes from being as big as you, Brendan. Next thing you know, the next movie, he's playing a
Tiny.
character that looks like me.
I agree.
I know, man.
It's
Listen,
unbelievable.
Listen,
One
when
day when he gets old enough, he's gonna be able to play a character that looks like Brian.
Hey, wait a minute! God damn it! Did you see him in Bronson? His first.
That's how he got famous.
Dude.
Yeah.
I keep bringing up Sean Penn because I was such a fan. Like he was my favorite actor.
It sounds
So
like
that's
you're
a
pretty
bummer.
butthurt about Sean
I am
Penn.
butthurt about it, but Tom Hardy's a classic example. And that dude, I spent 2 months with him on Warrior. He would just show up some days, and you better be. Even as a director, don't try to alpha that guy. You better fucking come correct.
Someone said he punched a director or something recently.
I'll tell you that
I have
director.
no doubt. I have stories,
Some
which I
dude
won't go
talked
into.
back to him and he fucking
I
wrecked
got
him.
stories. I got
Was he
plenty
the
of
coolest
stories.
guy of all time? I just want to be his friend.
No, he's just like, he's a guy who
He
says,
is.
"This is how I'm going to do it. Don't push your agenda on me."
Don't you think though? Like there's like with you're saying with Sean Penn, like times pass him up. Hollywood's vicious, man, especially with women.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you hit
Yes.
35, even 40,
See you later.
There's
See
Meryl Streep. There's very few have those roles. I mean, Robert De Niro's playing like old grandpa, like funny grandpa. It's
Right.
depressing. But there's really not a lot of spots for those older guys, man.
No.
Well, that's something that he could have been aware of, though, and worked on. You know what I mean? As grueling and terrible as Hollywood is, there's also a way to, always reinvent yourself. Look at Bowie, for example.
Yeah.
I watched some GIF the other day that had, this spinning head with all of his different looks
Oh,
that
I
he's
agree.
had.
Dude, look at Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck?
You know what happens though? Sometimes also when you become like a De Niro, you have a lot of financial interests. You own restaurants. You own. I mean, you're a businessman. You own buildings, and that kind of a business requires capital, upkeep, a lot of your.
Oh, I'm not
attention.
hating on
Yeah.
him.
I'm just saying.
I
all of a
loved
sudden-
him meet
well,
the
I'm saying
parents.
What made you great was your acting. All of a sudden, they start putting you in these big sort of blockbuster paydays. You're playing these kind of guys.
Oh,
and
dude,
it
I
is
get
a
it.
bummer to see it though. It is a
I
bummer.
get
You
it,
kinda-
100%.
But you still want the
But
old.
when you're playing funny grandpa, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Where's the good fella?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's
Totally.
Taxi? What the
Yes.
fuck we doing?
Yes.
Right.
Raging Bull.
Again,
What?
another example. I became an actor because of fucking De Niro.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. There are a couple people like Springsteen, De Niro, Sean Penn. When I was a young man, I took
man.
that shit very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
You
would
were balls deep in Sean Penn.
Bro, I
You
cried.
will not leave him
Sean
alone.
Penn.
You've said his name
Sean
30
Penn
times.
in State of Grace. Sean Penn in Bad Boys. Sean Penn.
Bad Boys.
Oh, what a great.
Sounds like you want
first
Sean
movie.
Penn and you.
Yeah.
Sean Penn and me. Sean Penn for me broke my heart.
Hold
Sean
on.
Penn.
Hey, Bad Boys, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith?
No. Sean, no, goddamn.
That was a remake?
I know you're so
It was
young.
Sean Penn and someone
No,
else?
this is a great movie. This is from 19. Can you look up when Bad Boys was? Oh, what a phenomenal
1927.
movie. Dude, when
Come
he
see
cry-
Bad
when he
Boys,
sees-
35
When he
millimeter.
sees his girlfriend's been beaten up and raped, and he sees her and starts to cry. He's in a juvie hall. What is it?
It's 1983.
That's how old I am.
Oh, that's
guys.
when I was born.
First
God.
movie to make me cry. How about that? First movie. I was in high
Came
school.
in the theater crying?
I'm in high school, and I watched that, and I was fucking bawling.
I was
Bro, you need to get off Sean Penn a
No,
little
he
bit,
was
huh?
the first man
a grown-ass
who
man now.
who would cry, and you'd be like, God damn, that's how a man cries.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, same thing. Another guy who imploded. I take it seriously. It fucking bums me out, man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it really does. It fucking kills me.
I think maybe he was just trying to get drugs from El Chapo. Dude.
I agree. He
you
was
know,
trying to fucking.
I would agree with you on that one.
That was
Hey,
probably
man.
the first question that didn't make it into the magazine. You know what I mean? Like,
Listen, man, I like
They're all
it.
probably not the time and
Why are
place.
people pissed about him getting an interview? That's a fucking amazing interview.
know.
Every journalist in the world would like that
Did you
interview.
hear-
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Did you read some of the interview?
I did.
Not exactly groundbreaking.
Well, the reason
he
he got-
said El Chapo really when he didn't get to answer or kind of send the interview the way he
Well,
wanted.
journalists are butthurt because
They didn't
El
get it.
Chapo had El Chapo had final approval, and that goes against journalistic protocol. You never allow if somebody's going to grant you an interview, you have to be allowed to check sources and ask difficult questions.
It's
and
El Chapo.
you have a final approval
Yeah.
on. You print the truth.
He got
El
to
Chapo
go back
was
and
able to
erase
edit.
whatever he didn't want. And
Yeah.
more like Sean Pencil. You know what I mean? In the moment show.
Hey guys, hey, we'll be here all week. He was able to Sean
Yeah, but
Pencil
it's
it. Actually a good joke.
But it's
It's
El
actually-
Chapo. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not interviewing fucking Barbara Walters. Like it's El Chapo. If he says something he doesn't want in there, huh? You knew what?
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah.
I granted your
By the way-
old ass an interview, you fuck.
Not only that, he was in the jungle surrounded by 100 of his henchmen with all kinds of weaponry. You're going to do what he says.
Did you read it? Sean Penn's like, he's not like a lot of these other guys, man. Like he's only doing what he had to do.
Yeah.
You silly fuck.
Yeah, talk to the Mexicans. He killed, he's directly responsible for something like 10,000 deaths or
He's
something.
a terrible person.
Literally 10,000 deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a violent man. I just fight back when somebody threatens me.
Nah, okay.
It's kind of like Hitler saying, listen, I was just defending, German nationalism.
And then Sean Penn jumps in on his side. I get it, man. I've been there. Oh, really? Have you?
Well, I think he was pretty tight-lipped about it, but, I don't know.
I know Sean Penn farted around him. You know that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard his
What do you mean?
farts smelled so bad that El Chapo built an underground tunnel to escape. Did he
Tony-
really fart?
Yeah.
Tony
they-
Hinchcliffe, I wish I'm not, you're quick.
Well, he's a professional roaster, man.
Kid is good.
I'm a-
super quick.
I'm in the featherweight class, so you got to be quick. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Sean
Muscles-
Pencil farted so bad to chop
Yeah,
up.
they're like walking down the hallway and he talks about it.
Really?
Lucky he didn't die. Yeah.
How
If I'm El
bad?
Chapo and you come to interview me and you fart in my hallway, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You're
think
dead.
I wonder if Sean El Chapo wanted Sean Penn to play, him.
Sean Penn does always look like he's holding in a fart, though, right? He always has that look on his face, like, ugh.
His skin, he hasn't aged well, man.
Bro,
No.
I'm telling you.
Dude, we're just going bad on
I
Sean
saw
Penn
him and
right
I was
now.
like, that looks like Sean, like an 80-year-old Sean
Dude,
Penn.
I saw him when he was dating, who's the girl he's dating? Tallbird
yeah,
from Mad Max.
Charlize Theron.
Yes, when they were dating, I saw him at a party. He looks, I don't know, 110.
I know,
He
dude.
looked like an old,
Yeah, you're
old,
talking
like,
about a
tortoise.
dude who
He's
plays
done
it
so
all.
much acting that even his face is sagged.
It just
It's a Hollywood joke.
I like it.
Hollywood joke.
I like it. You fuckers understand these gems he's dropping?
It's the Screen
We give you
Actors
these
Guild.
gems for free.
Should we go to some current events?
Yeah.
Let's go to some current events.
What do you got, Ev?
I know what I got. I know if I ever want to borrow money.
Can I just say that I think it's so nice that you let Brendan Dassey be your producer for this show. I think it's so great that.
Fucked up, man.
I don't think he looks like Brendan Dassey. I think he.
Come on, man.
Brendan Dassey.
I'm just kidding. Jeez.
By the way, I talked about.
Dassey.
I hadn't seen the final episode, didn't know it, so I'm talking about like I've seen it and I hadn't seen it.
Oh, did you see Making a Murder?
I watched it. I don't know how many.
All 10?
So fast. I'm completely obsessed.
B, read this, and then we're going to talk about Making a Murder before we get into current
Yeah.
events. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Let's do it.
See, the problem is sometimes
I
you
need
want-
money, man.
If you want money,
I'm
you
like
can
Sean
go
Penn.
to
I got a drug problem.
Hey, man.
Sorry, bro.
You can go to the bank. But a lot of times, hardworking people just can't get loans for 1,000 reasons. All you got to do is go to Avant. Let me tell you about Avant. It's an excellent company. AvantOffer.com on your computer or phone to check your rate. Okay, risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Okay, so you don't have to worry about your credit. Sometimes when you check your credit and stuff, it can actually affect your credit. Not in this case. You can complete an application in minutes, and funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of the listeners that we have right now listening to the great Tony Hinchcliffe need an unsecured personal loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to AvantOffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. And for this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to AvantOffer.com, enter promo code FIGHTER. That's Avant, A-V-A-N-T, which I believe means in front of in French.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Promo code FIGHTER, AvantOffer.com.
Can I do anything I want with the money?
You can actually. You can do anything you want. And really, it's a neat way because they realize that people have money, and it's not a bank, but they might want to gamble on you. And there are plenty of people who have plenty of money, and they say, you know what, I'm going to take a gamble on you because your idea sounds good.
I'm a wild card.
Yeah. And loans made by web bank. Funds are generally deposited via HS.
What's the offer, B?
The offer is basically you get you can check your rate.
I know. How do I find it?
AvantOffer.com. Enter promo code FIGHTER. There it is.
Boom. Making a Murder. Speaking of bail money, they need to fucking
What'd
do
you
it.
think of that?
My mind is completely blown. You know, it's one of those things to where, you know, normally I'm very decisive. Like, I make a decision and I stand by it. But with this one, every time I think that it was him that did it, every time I think it was Steve Avery, I think to myself, there was no DNA in that bedroom.
Exactly.
How does anyone explain
No
that?
rope
Anybody
fibers.
that knows anything about crime scenes, and I've watched every Forensic Files. Like, I have jokes about how much I watch Forensic Files and killer things on my special.
You watch First 48?
All of them.
I feel like a detective.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Let me tell you
And then you
something.
learn that there's no way to not leave DNA. Right now,
So
there's,
what do you
there's DNA
listen,
everywhere. I mean,
Hold on,
there's-
let's see what Tony says.
little
about it.
silver hairs.
So you think he's guilty or not guilty?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I
You
could
have no
flip
idea?
a coin. But
See, I'm the guy who sticks to it. I think he's guilty.
yeah.
God,
And I think
don't.
Brendan's the stupidest person to ever grace America.
Oh, definitely. He
How do you
really
think
messed
he's
everything
guilty?
up.
There's evidence they left out. It's a documentary for entertainment. Don't forget that.
Well,
there's
hold
also-
it, hold it. I mean, first of all, like one of the things he was talking about is, you cut a woman's throat. If you ever, anybody who's hunted, I've dressed a deer in the field. Oh my God, the amount of blood. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No rope fibers. No blood. So let me see. You cut her throat. Didn't he stab her in the stomach a bunch too?
Yeah.
There's nothing. No fluid comes out then.
Even-
Anybody who knows anything about that, forget like forensics and watching stuff. Just do that to a deer and tell me what happens.
Bro, all they know is she was shot and burned.
Yeah, good. They also said that she was tied to the bed. The testimony.
That's what Brendan said.
Yeah, that was introduced as testimony, damning testimony.
Yeah.
So she was tied to the bed. Where are the rope fibers? Nothing. And chains. Great. And chains?
I don't think she died like that. That does nothing for me.
Well, she didn't die that way. What they said is that she was raped, stabbed, had her throat cut, stabbed in the stomach, still didn't dry,
and then shot.
Dragged to the
pit?
No, to the garage, shot in the head several times, and then burned. Here's the problem also. Didn't they find stains, blood stains that match her in the Toyota RAV?
No,
did you see that?
That was his blood.
They found his blood in her car. They found his sweat inside the hood of her car. That's what they don't tell you on that. So they found his DNA sweat on the hood of the car because he took apart the battery. Why would he do that? I have no idea. They found her key where her DNA was rinsed off of it. They found that.
Well, there was no DNA except for his, which makes no sense because she had the key for 4 years.
Check it. So the key, they found none of it. There's no DNA on it. And they said even if the police were to plant that key, they're smart enough where they would have her DNA on it. Only an amateur would take all the DNA off it and place it back down.
I don't know how smart they are. But either way,
and then also,
let
me finish. And then also they found that DNA. They found that. Oh, and also Brendan had bleach on his jeans, and so did Steven. And the floor was soaked in bleach where they found the gun shells. And you know how they're like, oh, well, shouldn't they have found it earlier? Did you see the pictures before when they went in there? It looks like fucking hoarders.
Right.
They said the issue is the reason why they couldn't find stuff and it took so long. It was obviously Steven looks like shit, doesn't take care of himself, hoarding everything. So that's why everything took so long. Yeah. And then also it's like, well, the key, they didn't find it right away. It's like, fuck, man, look at that place.
Yeah. You know, there's all that information, but there's also just these cops are just too shady.
I agree.
And that box
I think it's the perfect combination of everything.
Once I saw the open box and his blood, a little bit of his blood missing.
Yeah, with
the
a syringe.
Thing, it's like, you know
Super
what?
suspect.
Immediately, any DNA that they find of his, I'm ignoring it. You know, they lost me there.
What about the cut on his finger? The big cut, and then the blood in her car.
I don't think it was a big enough cut from a guy that works in a
that
junkyard.
blood looks like it was my thing is that the most likely thing is this. I feel as though she was there, and it feels like somebody else who was also there, like maybe Dassey's brother, or maybe somebody who was going hunting.
I think there's more people in on it.
Maybe somebody did it and then framed him.
Did you know she called and filed a complaint because Steven would harass her, call Auto Trader, and specifically ask for her?
I didn't know that.
But the information that came out afterwards, I also feel
because the
like,
documentary, you got to remember, they want us to be all up in arms. There's a reason why there's billboards everywhere now.
But there's also
it's not for the justice of Stephen Avery.
Right.
It's not, so all of us talk about it and they get ratings.
We don't know everything, in other words.
But also,
if I want to make a documentary on O.J. Simpson and I want him to look good, I'm going to leave out all the murder shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to make him look great.
I think that's a good point, that we cannot talk about this case like we're experts just because we saw the documentary, because the documentary was edited. The documentary,
a reason.
Sure. And
notice
I think
the
you're right about
director
that.
and the producers,
I think you have to be very
they won't
careful.
do interviews really.
Right.
They don't do interviews.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the way that is. However, I correct me if I'm wrong, I think only 3 jurors thought he was guilty after seeing everything, and those 3 jurors who had connections to, one was the father of a sheriff. Those jurors were very persuasive to the others, kind of bullying the other ones. From what I understand,
it's like the perfect storm of just shit where he might be completely innocent or just fucking completely guilty. I think he's a very shady dude. I think he did it, and I think the police were like, finally, we got this motherfucker, and they tried making it look even worse. And they're just
You're basing
morons.
that on the bleach on his jeans?
On a bunch of different things. You look into.
I just don't see enough. I just don't see enough evidence. And after they search that place 7 times, they find the key. Very weird to me.
I don't think so. You look at that place.
Days.
Also, though, where'd the cops get the key? See, that's the other thing. I don't think the cops. Certainly, don't think the cops killed her. I don't think. But I feel like the most likely thing is maybe she was there. She disappears. They believe he did it. And then they go, you know what? This guy's a bad guy. Well, by the way, we're on the hook for $36 million.
That's what I think happened.
So let's make sure. Let's just add to the case.
You know what a lot of people think? A lot of people think her brother did it.
I do too.
Because the brother, before she was even really gone, he's like, I'm already in the grieving process. God damn, I just said.
Oh, you mean her brother?
She's missing for an hour.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
Oh,
He's like, yeah, she's dead to me.
You mean her brother?
We're just trying to get over the grieving. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
like, whoa,
Jesus.
it's been 10 minutes, my man.
Yeah.
She ran to Taco Bell.
It was.
Yeah, she's
It was a
dead.
little weird, and her roommate didn't repair.
That's what they think.
Report her
And
missing.
then also, remember her cell phone? They found it, and he goes, we guessed her code and then erased the messages. There were erased messages. Well, obviously you did it.
That's so
And
weird.
I think that was her boyfriend. There's so many suspects.
Yeah.
Well,
There
she
really
said she
are.
got a call, and she goes, "Oh, him again." You know what I mean?
And that's Steven because he was constantly harassing her and asking for
Yeah,
her.
but we don't know if it was Steven.
Let me tell you this: $36 million cripples that police department. So all your best friends that you work with, and these guys are close. Police have a brotherhood and
Especially
a
out
fraternal respect for each other that is not matched by anything.
Also,
I
their
would
insurance
challenge.
wasn't gonna
I would
cover it.
challenge that they're closer than Marines, than an Army, than this and that. When you're out there for your whole life for 20, 30 years
you
on a
get
force
tight.
with a guy, you
Yeah.
get so tight. And a $36 million lawsuit is crippling, which means that you know their kids, so you know their kids' food is coming off the table. You know their career's done. $36 million lawsuit, you're going to lose at least half your force right from the get. At least they have
There's
to.
a lot of
especially
motives.
It being a small town.
I think also the cops, they see things, and they probably in their mind actually believe that Stephen Avery did it. He was the last guy to see her. That's what you do as a detective.
And I think they tried making it worse. Did you see Brendan got his high school diploma? Hey, anyone listening out there, if you need motivation, Brendan got his high school diploma. There's a picture of his fat ass holding his diploma like this.
Yeah.
Stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
If he can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Literally
That
anyone.
was heartbreaking to see that kid. Look, I don't believe any of his testimony. I think those confessions were ridiculous.
See, I don't think he's creative enough to come up with that. And then he goes, "Oh, it's from a book I read." Bitch, you can't even read.
Listen, they suggested that stuff, man. That's
Oh.
the
See, I
worst-
disagree.
It's the
Even
worst
if they
forced
suggested
confession.
it,
That confession should have been thrown out.
Him repeating, I agree, it should be thrown
Yeah.
out. But some of his detailed testimony, his dumbass ain't making that up. He saw some stuff. There's no way you
I don't
admit to
agree.
murder and then go, "Oh, I need to
Happens all
turn
the
in
time.
my 6th grade art project."
Happens all the time.
I disagree.
Happens all the time.
Not with his IQ.
Happens with people.
Not with his IQ.
100%
Brian.
it does.
I disagree.
You got to go
100%.
back and watch the interviews again. They feed him everything.
No, I know they do.
What'd you see, Brenda? And every time they go, we know you. We know that's not the real answer. Tell us the truth. And so this dumb kid's going, what do they want to know? There was a girl
All right,
tied
we'll
up.
say it. You
He's
shot
not
her in the
creative
head.
enough.
And
for
they're
that.
like, what else?
They said,
then?
"All right, we'll say it. You shot her in the head." Did you shoot her in the head? Yeah. I mean, it was the
Oh, yeah,
worst.
it's crazy.
It was the worst suggestive thing.
I agree. It was horrible the
Yeah.
way they went about it. I'm just saying, with his IQ level and some of the creativeness he came up with, you would
Wasn't that
have
creative,
to see
dude?
that stuff.
Wasn't that
I
creative?
want
disagree.
that guy to
Especially
start
with
his own
his IQ.
podcast.
Me
I
too.
love the way he sounds. Like when
Yeah.
he's talking to his
Yeah.
mom, and she's like, "Why didn't you just tell me the truth? Why are you telling me this now? Now you're in big trouble." Yeah.
That's all he
Like,
does.
what?
Yeah.
Well, he was handicapped.
She's
you know?
all, "Why would you do this?" He's all, "I don't know. Do you think I'm gonna get out by April 16th?
Oh my God, WrestleMania.
Why? WrestleMania? Probably not, you stupid bitch. Probably not.
Yeah, but he's literally mentally handicapped. So that's the other thing that bothered me about it is that this kid is so compromised, and he's gonna say whatever. He's 16 fucking years old, and being told you're gonna spend the rest of your life in jail unless you tell
he
your
really
mother.
didn't give a fuck
Unless
either.
you tell
did
your
he?
mother.
He really didn't give a fuck.
Of course he did.
Not really.
Yeah, he did.
He was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, he did. It was my issue is whether or not he did it or not. The evidence that he went away for should not have been enough to convict.
I don't think
That's
that
my
the
issue.
evidence that they have and everything, you can't lock a guy up for life
There you go.
based off of that.
That's
now,
how
did
I
he
feel.
do it? I think he did, but the evidence that they have and the way it went down, you can't lock both of them up for life. Especially Brendan's dumbass.
Either way, it's good TV because look at how it just is still holding our fascination.
Yeah, it's
I'm about to piss my
incredible.
pants. Let's
take a break. Let's take a pee break.
Before current events.
Love it.
Let's go to current events with Evan the Body of the Bear.
There you go. Current events, having the bottom of the beard. Yeah.
We call that a clean segue.
We gotta get Tony out of here.
Tony got shit to do. He's a famous comedian now. You big timing us, bud?
All right, we'll jump straight in. This one's going to hurt your little feelings, Brian.
Yeah.
Going to crush your little soul right now. Yoel Romero got popped for PEDs. Word has it, it's a designer steroid.
Well, no shit. What? What is he, 36?
38.
The 38-year-old who's jacked and making a run at the title got popped for steroids?
Brandon, you seem really surprised. He looks like a cyber.
He's like a Ninja Turtle.
It's the craziest thing in the world. So, listen, I don't believe the test. I think it's a lie. And,
I'll tell you what's interesting is Chael Sonnen, which probably should have took his advice. Goes, nah, man, that guy's all natural. I've been on a tour with him for years wrestling. And I was like, oh, man, Chael probably knows his shit. And I thought about, well, Chael's the Lance Armstrong of MMA. That really is probably not the best advice to take, is it?
Yeah. Look,
There goes his title shot.
that's it.
Guarantee you're going to get Weidman Rockhold too now.
So fuck. So he
He's been for a
basically
while.
he's banned for a while.
Yeah.
Is this first time he's been popped?
Yeah, this is his first time.
I'd have to see the test, man. I think there's a whole fucking
No, but seriously, talk about
framing
it.
going.
What do you, I mean,
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Let's be honest.
it's just like whatever.
I
He's
mean,
38. He's
just
been
doesn't-
wrestling all his life.
I just hanging out with you and learning like where you see how people train with MMA. When you see a guy who's that muscular, but they're doing a lot of cardio. It's just, yes, I know he's a
There's
genetic
freaks,
freak,
though.
but
I know a lot of freaks, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I really did, but the camp he comes from, this is the second guy in like a month.
yeah,
Like Gleason Tebow got busted last month,
Yep.
and now him.
Pro Cop too.
Well, but Krokop's not from ATT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, America Top Team. There's kind of been a common theme here. It's kind of like, I'll tell you what, you got some balls to do some shit with this new drug testing.
well, he probably
You
again,
better
it was-
have Lance Armstrong in your ear.
I was gonna say it's a designer steroid. Probably thought he was gonna get away with it, and they are. Look, they're gonna keep coming up with better technology to beat these tests. Obviously, the way you guys train for fights, a lot of it's just recovery. When you're 38 years old, you're not recovering as quickly, and it doesn't surprise me. Let's just put it that way at all.
Everyone jumped all over him. Bisbing.
I rewatched that.
Tim Kennedy. Everyone just roasted him on that.
That's ridiculous. I rewatched the.
That's not ridiculous.
No, I rewatched
he
the,
beat Tim Kennedy. He's probably on steroids.
Of course, I rewatched the. I rewatched the Jake Shields. Hector Lombard fight. Hector Lombard was so ridiculously muscular in that. I think it was right after he got
That's
popped.
what happens when a guy on steroids fights a vegan.
The craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, well, of course. If he's picking him up and tossing him like a rag doll. Yeah.
Who would go back and watch that fight? It's insanely boring.
Well, I think now I was just looking
fight
at
was
you know
so
you know
boring.
why? Because his back was not boring to me. I was literally like marveling at the muscles
You're
in his
jacking
back.
off.
Never seen muscles like that in my life. I was like, oh, that's what steroids do.
That's
Gotta get
weird.
myself
That's
on
the
it.
fight you looked up.
Well, no, it was on. It was just on. It was on a UFC recap. I just watched it and I was like, oh, well, you can get to a point where you can kind of look at somebody's body, right?
It gets hard to recover as you get older. You know what I mean? Like, you remember when you were 38, Brian? Like,
Well,
Bad
that's how-
Boys was just coming out.
Bad
a long
Boys
time ago.
coming.
It's a long time ago, brother. Yeah. It was a long, Bad Boys is still coming out.
What else you got, Ev?
Well, I remember when I was a boy. All these steroids are really helping me.
Remember steroids for like back in the day, especially the 80s, 70s? It was just like, fuck it.
Guys
They
were
didn't
growing
know.
extra
yeah.
They
foreheads.
just thought it was whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then Alzado, right? He was like the
Wow,
poster
he
boy.
died of a brain tumor.
Yeah, but he said it was because of steroids. Yeah.
He died of a brain tumor.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are a lot of people who die of brain tumors who don't do steroids. I'm an old man. I'm going to play this character for the rest of the time. Evan, you cute young man, tell me what else we have. I'd like to run my fingers through that beard. What's it like to have no grays? Tight, smooth skin.
What else you got,
else?
Ev?
All right.
No, keep going.
All right. So the next one, this is great.
Feel those bristles on my shaft.
This BJJ black belt competes in Polaris, Metamoris, whole bunch of other.
What's
big
his
events.
name?
AJ Agazarm used a planned takeover of Metamoris's Instagram account to instead blast the organization and Holly Gracie for not paying their athletes. So he basically convinced them to let him take over the Instagram account, change their password, and then just shit all over him.
Jesus.
That's like what? That's like me giving my ex-girlfriend my password to Instagram. She's just gonna take it and shit on me. She's gonna post every dick pic I've ever sent. All this bullshit. For sure, don't give the guy your Instagram account. Let him run it.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, he gets on there, and it's like at first there's like pictures of him training. Then it's a picture of him like, Alec, you've used my name and likeness long enough. And he's like, you haven't paid the athletes. You fucked me over. He just laundry list. It's the ultimate trolling, and it's awesome. Everyone knows, listen, Henry Gracie and Heron Gracie are my boys, and their brother is Halleck. I'm not that close with Halleck at all. I don't run with Halleck. What he believes in, I don't believe in. When I did Metamoris, I had a good experience as far as the venue and the competition, but the way Halleck treated me after, we don't see eye to eye. We'll never compete in it again, even if he offered me a large amount of money. So I think for him, man, I think he's in over his head. I don't think he's ready for this.
You're talking about Halleck.
I'm talking about Halleck. It's 2016. But of course, pay the athletes, or it's gonna get out there everywhere. It's too easy on social media, especially with a good guy like that, man. It's silly. Oh, and it ruins your entire brand. Because what does everyone in the world hate? Bullies. What's Halleck being? A bully. When you don't pay the guys, people go, oh, fuck them. And who's this help? EBI, our boy Eddie Bravo, because he pays the athletes. It's a better show. They have better competitors. So to me, I'm an Eddie Bravo fan. So good for Eddie Bravo. Bad for Metamoris.
It sounds like almost like the old stand-up comedy strikes in 72 or whatever, or 79. Like Mitzi Shore, who was the Gracie, you know what I mean? Like she ran it all, and there was other comedy clubs popping up, and she refused to pay the comedians because and I don't know much about what you're talking about, but I'm guessing that like the Gracies are like, it's an honor to work with us. You want to work with us because of our name. So we're not going to pay you. Yep. But in the end, she had to give a minimum, and it stuck. She still only pays $15 for a spot. The guys
I've never
fight
even cashed
over.
a check.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't care about the money when you're working at the comedy store. I mean, some spots. Like
I think Jamie Masada pays like $150.
Hey, is that where our live show's at?
Yeah.
The Comedy Store?
Yes.
We're not getting paid $15, are we?
No, that's a different thing.
We're
I'm talking about when you're paid
door,
regular.
buddy. Okay. We're gonna do just fine. We'll do just fine.
We just said you only paid $15.
Brendan just passed out for you people listening to the podcast.
And 15
Brian's
American
like, it's the Comedy Store. Brian set it up.
It's the principle of the matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's exactly how it is. Dude, the only way Halleck's gonna learn is the hard way, man. But it's too late. There's no like, my bad, I paid him. Nope.
I don't care what it is, what you're doing. You got to pay your guys a little something. If it's about the principle and everybody should be honored to work with the Gracies, then you still got to give them something. You don't want your name being dragged in the mud.
Oh, and it's been dragged. He's already had issues for trying to steal guys away from another show and tell them they can't compete if they go work with Eddie Bravo, like the Gary Tonin situation. So it just gets worse and worse. Sometimes, if that's who you are, that's who you are.
You're speaking very candidly, which is interesting in terms of, because I know how close you are to his brothers.
Really, really close.
Yeah.
I talked to Henner last night. Henner's one of my closest friends. But at the end of the day, I have a show to run, and it is what it is. I'm also a competitor. I compete in it. The way he treated me isn't great, and
it sounds like the Gracies need to change their ways. They need to close the door and throw away the gi.
Why didn't I think of that joke? This kid's
a beast.
This kid for free, I tell you.
What else?
Gems.
What else you got, Ev?
Gems. You're back. He's shadow boxing.
He's coming live.
Keep it coming.
All right,
Keep it coming. He's got to get out of here, but I'm loving it.
The St. Louis Rams are moving back to Los Angeles. The Chargers have a 1-year-long option to share a stadium with them in Inglewood.
Woo! Doesn't matter. Woo!
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, it does.
It's
Sorry.
huge.
Oh, sorry.
Gay.
Gay.
I hope. I don't want San Diego to come here. No, just give us one team. Two's fucking weird. Two is so weird. You get San Diego and the Rams.
Why
here?
are they relocating? I don't understand.
Well, the Rams, because LA's it's the biggest market in the nation.
Right.
So we need a team.
Right.
What people forget, like,
Los Angeles Rams
poor
used
St.
to be.
Louis.
Yeah.
No, that's our team, bitch.
Yes.
Let's
It
run
used
this
to be.
back.
It started as the Los Angeles
Started as
Rams.
the Rams.
Yeah.
Started as the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? So.
Did it start as the Los Angeles Raiders and then became the
LA
Oakland Raiders?
Yeah, and then went to Oakland.
Oh.
Yeah.
So and it's crazy that we don't have a team. But what I don't
They're
understand.
building a $3 billion stadium. It's supposed to be the best stadium in the world now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to take about 20 years, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to it.
Where will it be? Where will the stadium
It's
be?
in Inglewood.
Yeah, it's like
It's in the hood.
right in the
Right
middle.
now.
And I think
It's
the
good
colors
for
for
the hood.
black and gold.
Black and gold?
Black and gold. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I
All
look
right.
forward to that. That'd be my new favorite team. Well, Broncos are my favorite team, but at least I have a team to root for. And the Rams aren't bad, man. We just need a quarterback, and we rolling, baby.
We rolling.
Don't give us those bullshit Ram colors, though. Let's switch it up, black and gold. That'd be sweet.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but are the fights this weekend on Sunday?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm gonna be there, Boston. I can't wait.
Are you-
Dillashaw versus Cruz.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
Who you got in that? We broke it down yesterday, but who do you got?
You know what? Honestly, and
You know a lot about fighting.
I really do. I mean, it's my favorite sport by far. You know, I've gotten to work with Joe a lot over the last.
Have you
couple
got to
years.
suck on Joanna's titties yet?
No.
I know that's one of your
No.
on your bucket list.
No, I follow her on Instagram. She tweeted a picture of her and a guy the other day.
Mother.
Some
Damn it.
premiere.
She stepped her style up though. She was wearing just those white polos and like a fucking top hat, but
Yeah, she's
she got a stylist.
something else, man. I'm still not
You're
giving
digging
up
her.
the hope and dream. One of the
Let her see you do stand up, bro.
Yeah, no, I
Nah,
can't
man.
wait. A couple
Could
months
be a
ago,
training partner.
I'd love
And then
that.
just start.
Yeah,
Hey.
a couple months ago,
Hey.
you guys would love this. Like, I've never talked about this before either. Is a couple months ago, I was watching her fight, her last fight against Valerie Letourneau. This was in Australia, actually. She was
Yeah.
under the Rousey fight, and her boyfriend was there. You know, with like her sister and like a couple, I could see where they were, and I'm always in my hot spot right behind Joe. Looking good. I was
ticket.
wearing this jacket,
Love that
just
jacket.
looking badass. And what's funny is like, yeah, pure confidence. Knowing that I have a Netflix special coming up, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And like,
One shot,
All
bitch.
this stuff.
what's funny is like I kept like when she would get control of the fight and like would dominate, I'd give a standing O, and then I'd look over and the only other guy standing is over there, and it's her boyfriend. I'm like, come on, you're not gonna clap as hard as me.
Bring
bitch.
it.
Let's do this.
What's her
meter?
What's her boyfriend? Is her boyfriend a fighter? What's he look like?
I think he's a professional soccer player or something.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm just kidding, but it's like all one big joke. I have a girlfriend, and I love my girlfriend.
No.
She listens to these podcasts.
Disclaimer.
And she
Disclaimer.
always complains about me talking
Which-
about wanting to marry Johanna Jędrzejczyk.
It's
but-
obviously a joke. What's your girl look like? What does she do? You don't have to describe her
my
girl.
She looks
girlfriend's
exactly like Johanna.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stand-up comedian. She opens for Dave Chappelle. Her name's Ashley Barnhill. She's a cold-blooded killer. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But there's something about Johanna Jędrzejczyk where I think like she'd get me in shape and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be
Yes.
smoking cigarettes. You
Yes.
stop smoking the cigarettes or I fucking choke you out. Like I would.
Wake up, you come running with me.
Yeah, come for a run.
be
Don't
fun.
be lazy, bitch. You
It'd
you,
be
you
number
run
one.
your material, get better. You write all day. I'll go train more.
Then we fuck at night.
Yeah,
We fuck at night.
Yes.
yeah.
But I'm always on
I
top.
fuck
I
you
might
in
be
the ass.
I might be Polish,
I
but
fuck
I
you
want
now.
your sausage. I like Italian sausage.
I like Italian sauces. Tony Hinchcliffe, skinny but big dick.
Excuse me.
He looks like the letter L.
I like the way the dick tastes. What do you got, Ev?
All right, we got one more. This will be a little short one. So those jackoffs that took over that wildlife reserve in Oregon, it's like the most poorly planned thing of all time. Like they didn't bring enough food to last them more than like 2 weeks, so now they're fucked. And they asked people to send them supplies. So the internet took them up on their offer and sent them boxes and boxes
Of Triscuits.
and boxes of dildos
Damn.
and sex toys, so they can
very
all go
funny.
fuck each
The
other.
internet said, fuck you.
By the way, there are
Dozens
12 of
of
them. Right? There are
boxes.
12 of them. Make and stand. The idea is over federal land and how much the federal government
Yeah.
has control over the land. It's an age-old fight. It's been going on for past
So what's
100
their
years.
goal here? What do they think's going to happen?
They're idiots. They think they're gonna get.
I would have sent
them.
them.
The federal
I would have
government.
sent 'em a bunch of Triscuits. Those things are so dry and
Yeah.
there's no water. It's torture. And then you
Yeah.
got to eat those things.
Yeah, wash it down with some dildos.
Here's some hot Cheetos.
I like that. That's an elaborate play because they're probably too stupid to realize.
It's not
what
that
gonna
they're-
do
it's-
until they've already eaten.
It's
it.
not that they're idiots, actually. It's an age-old debate that goes back to how much power should the federal government have over land.
You
and
know
how
a
much
lot
should the
about this
state
because
have
you
it.
were here when the Indians.
Yes,
got
I
their-
was. Yes, I was. I tell you boys. And the Homestead Act, I remember when we were in covered wagons before you were even a thought in your dad's balls. And I think these guys have a point, is the point I'm making.
Yeah, those guys are in trouble.
Yeah, big
Is that
bag of
it,
dicks.
Ev?
Yep.
Yeah, enjoy those dildos, fellas, inside that weird animal sanctuary.
sucks you have to go.
Tony, you got a big special coming out. We
One
couldn't
shot.
be more happy for you, man. You're blowing up.
You
You
guys
Friday,
said the
Netflix.
best.
just got to promise to come back.
Yeah.
I definitely will do.
This Friday on Netflix.
Friday on Netflix, January 15th at One Shot. I'm also going to be in Caroline's February 5th and 6th. And I'm in
club.
Vancouver at the Just for Laughs Nasty shows at a theater at the end of February. So check that out if you're in Vancouver. But I need help selling Caroline's New York City first weekend in February.
First weekend in February,
Yeah.
Caroline's.
First
You got it,
time
brother.
headlining New York City.
Guys, I'm telling you right now,
I'll
as a guy,
blast it out on our end, and then we'll also blast out your Netflix.
Thank you
special.
I've
so
been in the
much.
business. I've been doing this for 20 years. He's as funny as anybody, and he's in a lot of ways at his age. How old are you now?
31.
Yeah, I don't know anybody at your age who's close to as funny as you are. So see him now or hear about him later. You see that?
Boom.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys are the
And
best.
One Shot on Netflix this Friday. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. I've seen his hour and it's ridiculous.
I love
It's
you.
as good as it gets.
You guys
You're
are
the
good
best,
as it gets.
man.
You guys are the best.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Thank you, guys.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
One of my favorite people.
Sorry, go.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
One of my favorites.
Very witty, full of gems.
He's a beast, man. A lot of people.
His stand-up's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, in the next 2016 is the year of Tony, man.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson, Tony Hinchcliffe. Two
He's
Tonys.
He's going to be huge.
I've said that. He's going to be huge, man. He has the talent.
You
He
can
has the
see it.
work ethic.
Yeah.
He has his first Netflix dropping this Friday.
Well,
and
31 years old. He's already
31.
he's making crazy waves already.
Oh, and obviously Joe Rogan would bring him on the road everywhere if he wasn't crazy talented. Oh, and he's the writer for the roast on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
All those roast jokes come from Tony.
Yeah. And by the way,
I was nervous he's gonna roast me on my
have fun
hair.
being rich as shit, because he will be.
Yeah,
We should
have
bring
fun.
Him in. We should bring him in to write with us for the.
Oh, for Fire and
For
Kid
3D?
3D?
I
That's a
think so.
brilliant idea.
I think so. I don't know what we're doing.
It's
I don't know
tough
what
because he's so
we're doing.
busy. It's tough to pin him down.
Whatever. If he wants to be part of a winning
We've been doing pretty well, though.
locomotive,
We've been doing pretty well.
he would be a very good.
I
addition
agree.
to it.
Brian, let me ask you something. I know it's getting cold out there, and a lot of guys are rocking beards. They call them the playoff beards.
Well, look at me. I got a beard.
Look at me. Me too.
I still need a razor though. You know why? Because I shaved this part up here.
Oh, you shave your face like caveman.
Well, I'm
you
not
shave,
gonna let
you
it
shave
just
your
go
cheeks.
crazy. When you have a beard, you got to use a razor.
You know what? But it's 2016, so let's kick off the year the right way, and that's with fresh blades.
Yeah,
Let's
but they're
kick it off with some
expensive,
blades,
dude.
man.
I don't have $50,000.
Nah, man. A million users use DollarShaveClub.com.
What is
Dollar Shave Club?
What's DollarShaveClub.com?
Oh, that's funny. It delivers amazing razors right to your door.
Right to my door?
Right
That's
to the.
dangerous. I could get cut.
Nah, man, not with these. It's right to your door for a third of the price that you see in all the stores. And oh yeah, these blades are way better.
Why? A third of the price?
A third. Switch right now, and you can't afford luxury shaving.
Yeah, a lot of
fresh
you guys-
blades anytime, and save hundreds this year.
Yeah.
Over a while, it adds up. When we combine that with fresh blades with their Dr. Carver shave butter, what?
Yeah.
It just glides on your face. You won't believe how smooth
And
it
the
is.
reviews are, you guys like, I want the really expensive blades. Guess what? All the reviews
Wrong.
come back and they say the blades are just as good.
It doesn't dry out your
Don't
skin.
get scammed.
Doesn't dry out your skin. All natural ingredients leave your skin feeling soft and moisturized.
Shave
We
butter.
all know Brian likes to moisturize.
Ah, Carver's shave butter.
Take it from us, especially Brian Callen, because he uses these dang things. Use a fresh DSC blade with Dr. Carver shave
DSC.
butter if you want the most gentle shave ever. Join DollarShaveClub.com/fighter right now. That's DollarShaveClub.com/fighter.
There it is. Got a little dropping knowledge for you guys. You know, a lot of times we start with sort of facts, but I thought I would kind of start with a question. I think it's better. Sometimes when people ask you questions, it's probably the best knowledge you can give somebody. And here is my question. I want you guys to think about this. Instead of giving you a bunch of facts or stuff, I want you to think about something. Ask yourself how much of your outlook on life has been given to you versus how much of that outlook has come from your own thoughts, your own thought process. Are you living on a house of cards? Another way of saying that is, do you have opinions or do you have thoughts? Most of us are walking around with opinions that have been given to us, but we don't really know why we think the way we do because we haven't taken the time to actually stop and ask ourselves the right questions and sit with those questions and come up with an answer that's actually truthful for ourselves.
True in politics too, right?
100%.
Like some people go, "Oh, I like Trump because he's in my face. He's on CNN. He's on social media. Why do you like Trump? What's Trump stand for? I don't know. No, you know him because he's in your face, and people say this.
Yes.
But have you ever looked up what he stands for?
100%. My father.
I like Ben Carson. Why do you like Ben Carson?
Yeah.
I like Rubio. Well, tell me why you like Rubio.
Right.
Don't listen to what other people say. Actually do the research and look it up. You're gonna formulate your own opinion.
Yes. As a young man, my father was very Republican, very conservative, and was very eloquent about, developing why he was. He wasn't a right-wing Christian or anything, but he was a conservative. He believed in small government, and I loved my father and admired him. So my de facto kind of go-to was always small government. And the minute you talked about anything left-wing, I would immediately be against you.
You jump on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you were raised that way. And that's
I was
your
raised
dad's-
that way.
That's a little
That was
different.
given to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as an adult, you have to sit back and really think about why you stand where you stand.
Well, I think in today's society, I think it's much easier to hate on someone or something than question it and look into it instead of drawing a conclusion when you don't know, especially with people, especially with certain people.
That's
like
right.
there's some people where I'll have a certain, I'll think they're this way when I really don't know.
That's
and you'll
right.
tell me, no, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like I forget who we were talking about. I go, I don't know about the guy. No, I'm telling you, you're going to love him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like, dude, what the hell was I thinking?
Exactly.
But it's weird. I had these
But
preconceived
we all
notions.
do that. We all do
with
that.
everything.
We see a look and we go, that guy must be a dick because he wears his hair that way or he dresses that way. And we all do that. But you're right. I mean, you can often be surprised if you give somebody a chance.
I'm telling you, man, you want a challenge? Try not being so negative for a day. Try not to be so critical and negative for a day.
That's another great question I was going to ask actually for dropping knowledge, which I was going to save for next time, but because I like questions like that. But, think about how much time, what are you really spending your time thinking about? And a lot of times it is negative stuff. And because it takes the pressure off of you.
That's the way our brains are made to work, though.
It is. It is.
Which is a bummer.
It's
But you're wired to think negatively.
Well, you want to be critical in your thinking.
You want
right?
to be critical, but you don't want to be a downer
Yeah.
where everything's down. You don't want to be critical and always figuring out the solution, but you don't want to be so negative where it affects your.
Well,
daily
there was this
life.
big movement of positive thinking, no matter what. Like I'm positive, no matter
can't
what.
do that.
The problem is you can't get in the way of critical thinking. You've got to be critical. You've got to be. This is not good. This is good. Lending money to a moron who is versus somebody who's worth it. There's some people are worth it. Other people are not worth spending your time on. There are a lot of examples like that, and you have to make those choices. You have to ask.
I was talking to my dad yesterday, and like I said, when this West Coast tour, I know we keep talking about it, but for me, it's nuts, man. Literally a year ago, I was fighting in a cage. What the fuck? And now we're doing sold out theaters and all this stuff, and I'm on stage. But I think, and it's not your fault, but I think because you've been in entertainment for so long, and you've been a stand-up, and you've done these major theaters, it's nothing new for you. So, like, we don't share in the same excitement. Does that make sense? Because you're like, yeah, man, another walk in the park.
Yeah.
And my dad asked how the tour went, and I didn't talk about Seattle. I didn't talk about Portland. I didn't talk about San Francisco. I talked about Vegas. Went hour 30 short from the sellout. Fucking sucked. It was a Sunday, blah, blah, blah. My dad goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. My dad stopped and goes, whoa, what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. I just talked to your brother an hour ago, and he told me how awesome it was and how he can't believe what you're doing and to sell out this and you're selling this.
And doing
this
stand-up. And doing stand-up for real.
And he goes, what are you talking about? And then I was like, you're right. I don't know. It's weird. I'm sorry. And he's like, it's insane. And then we were talking about, I go, you know what? It's not that it doesn't help, but imagine if we were both young guys and you've never experienced that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how excited you would be?
I
think
I
because
agree with
you're
you.
mild manner,
Yeah.
I'm like, I expect everything to be sold out.
Which
is weird. I expect everything to be completely sold out. When it's not, I'm so down.
Yes.
Like, who am I to judge fucking Sacramento? Who am I to judge?
Which was sold out.
Which was sold
and
out.
Had, and
But
had,
because
and
there's a
had
smaller
room for another show.
Because there's a smaller crowd, I'm like, Like when we're talking to our agent, he goes, hey, we got this place in this city. I'm not gonna name the city because I'll get shit. He goes, we got a place. I go, I'm not going there, man, unless it's sold out. I had to check myself, like, hey, man.
It's also
Hey, real quick, man.
It's also
You're going to go where the fuck they tell you to go. You're not Kevin Hart.
Right.
And just because Brian's been doing this forever,
Yeah.
for me, if there's 20 people there, it's a fucking win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's also
It's
awesome.
the way I think,
I
though.
like the way you think, though, because it's actually the motor of why we've kind of leapfrogged, too, because you're relentless. And but you're right. I think it's important to kind of like, hey, like we sold out Cobb's 2 months in advance. We sold 700
You
tickets
should
in
have heard
Seattle.
me. You should have heard me with our agent on the phone. I'm not going there.
Exactly. The
Huh?
CAA, the biggest agency in the world, they're like, oh, all right.
Like, okay,
We'll
Kevin
go-
Hart.
Yeah, we'll go make money over here.
Okay, you fucks.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Joe about it last night. I go, it's not that it's a bummer because we would not be here. There would be no live shows if you didn't have the experience and you weren't the pioneer of this. But because you're like, yeah, man, it's Cobb's, or yeah, it's a sold out theater, and you're not that excited. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's not a good thing.
Listen, man,
it's not a good thing.
I am excited. I think I'm so tempered because I've had so many
You've been doing it
disappointments.
forever.
Yeah, and you know what I've been doing a lot? This is going to sound really cheesy, but I'm going to say it. I'm 48.
Crying.
No.
Oh.
I've been saying this to myself a lot. Why not me?
Oh, 100%.
Because I'm always, I just never like give myself enough credit, and I never really think that I'm worth it. And I hate saying that out loud.
I hear you.
But I want to say it for people out there who feel the same way. And I've been pretty successful. And
Yeah.
people come up to me, and after my show last night, everybody wants to take pictures and all that.
Yeah.
And you would think if you saw me, I'm a successful guy, or blah, 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 whatever you want to call it.
But you don't feel that way.
No, and I also don't necessarily know that I feel I deserve it sometimes. And so it's very helpful sometimes to ask yourself, why not me, man? Why not? I've done my time.
I
And
agree.
let me tell you something. Last night, watching what we did in those 3D things, I don't care what happens. I'm so proud of what we've done. And I am my own worst critic. I'm the worst, and especially in my acting.
He's talking.
And I gotta
We
tell-
saw the edited versions of the Fire and Kid 3D, our first 4 episodes.
I got to tell you something, man. We did something, and I'm very proud of it. And
Me too.
I think it's incredible. And I think your acting's as good. You're not acting, and you're not acting. It's as good
It's
as it
funny,
gets.
man.
Brian's right. Your acting's really good.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw some of them.
Oh, nice.
I saw the.
You believe
I saw
him.
I saw the promos.
You believe the guy,
Yeah.
They're great.
dude. That promo,
You're good. You're real good.
It's so ridiculous.
that promo
They're
was
so
so
ridiculous.
funny.
Outrageous.
You know, I always think
And
when
how about Brendan with the giant sincere guy behind me?
so, dude, I always think
People are gonna
when
love
we
these.
go to these venues, there's gonna be like 7 people in the crowd.
So do I.
Woo! San Diego!
Hey!
All 7 of you. I see the Junior Seau jersey over in the right. Thank
That's
you for
it.
coming.
Hey, tonight we're at
Tonight we are in San Diego.
At
We
the
are
House of Blues.
We are 60 tickets away, 60 seats away from a sellout.
Do you know what we're doing here? Do you
It's
understand?
House of Blues. Hey, let's sell this bitch out.
We've
Tell
sold
a
out-
friend, bring a girlfriend who has a bunch of friends. Tell your buddy, bring your
Listen,
dad.
listen.
60. Let's sell
Thank you
this bitch
to
out.
all our fans, because guys, we've sold out everything, and I'm telling you, this has been one surprise after another. The fact that this web series is turning out the way it is, the fact that we're selling out, which I didn't think we'd come close to doing just as a comic, and knowing how hard it is to sell tickets, it's all because of you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, I love you guys.
And I hope you ask yourself that question, and it propels you forward. All right.
We start crying on air.
I know. I almost got emotional just now. If I wasn't dead behind the eyes, I would.
I've never seen you get emotional
No,
ever.
No, I'm dead. That all died.
You're
That
so
was-
you're
somebody poured salt
you're
on my
a
heart.
mercenary.
Yeah,
But can I ask you something? Whenever
Yeah.
we go on the road, someone
Yeah.
goes, "Dude, what's up with your hair?"
yeah.
And they're talking to you.
I know.
And
Well,
I'm like, "Is it Propecia?" You're like, "No, man.
I know.
It's
See,
this new pomade."
I didn't want to say it, but
See,
I
I
got,
want the secret out because I think other people are like, "Dude, how can I get Brian Callen's hair?"
I get my hair is like, we're getting out of here, but then sometimes they're like, and then sometimes they get angry because the Propecia won't let them get out of there, so they're like standing on end going, up your ass, I hate you, and that's
Then they go, "Only we'll stay here, but only the best."
That's right. And so I reached for my classic pomade from Dapper Life, and I'll tell you what I like about it. And it says live hard, look good, which I do. I live hard, and a lot of people say that I
live
look
real
good.
hard.
I've had a lot of women lately come up and say, you look good. And I go, come on, I'm 48. And they go, I don't care. And then they're like, I want to have sex. And I'm like, I'm married, I can't. But, it's crazy. I think it's, yes, a lot of it's genetics, but you got to
A lot
give
of it's
some
product.
up
You
to
got to
pomade.
get to the product.
You're going to think I'm kidding when I say this.
You want to eat that pomade.
I like the way it smells, and I
Dude,
open it
smell it.
and I smell it because it smells so clean and fresh to me.
That shit does smell fresh.
And I like the color. Did you choose the color? Why is the color like that? It's so cool.
'Cause it's different. Everyone else's is clear. I wanted something different.
See, you think about those
It's
details.
weird, right?
It's not weird. That color is very. How would you describe that color?
I would describe that almost a peach.
It's a
like
peach,
a
dude.
tangerine.
It's actually no, it's peach. You made a peach-colored pomade, Dapper Life, DAPPERLYFE.
Created in Venice, California.
Listen, man, if
I
you
pass
guys
out to the bums, so if you see bums just dime pieces walking around,
Yep.
just because I gave it to
dime
them.
pieced up, we got to start making some more commercials. If you go to Dapper Life on Instagram,
Yeah, we do.
we got some.
Collect pomade. DapperLife.com. Enter promo code FIGHTER, 10% off. Try it. That's DAPPERLYFE.com. Promo code FIGHTER, 10% off. Live hard, look good.
Yeah.
No promises you look like Brian Callen. Fan questions.
Fan
Fan questions. See how I carried that?
Fan questions, fan questions. Sorry.
All right, first fan question. What do you think of the Chandler Jones story? Is he following in his brother's footsteps? For context, everybody, Chandler Jones allegedly OD'd on pills on Sunday.
Did you hear about this?
No,
I believe
this is
That's
John's
John
brother.
Jones' brother, who's the biggest freak out of all of them. He's a starting defense end for the New England Patriots. He's a phenomenal player.
Damn it.
What did he OD on, though? Do we know?
No.
Damn it.
But he's going to play Saturday. He's at practice Monday.
Yeah, so I would assume it was just
the NFL, dude.
just standard painkillers.
Overdose, major concussion, you play.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
3 days off. Shake that off. Walk that off. Hey, walk it off.
Bump his stomach. We need you at practice tomorrow morning.
Overdose, don't worry about the underlying problems. Walk it off.
Nah, we'll figure it out. Need you to play, though, huh? We're going to sell some number 95 jerseys.
Deal with it off season.
Yeah.
Look, I've never been in a position where I was that desperate, so I never like to say anything about it. I don't know what it's like to be there. Thank God. I don't know what happened. You just wish somebody well, man.
It's hard to comment and compare this to John Jones' struggle because they are brothers. A lot of people make those similarities, but I don't know what he OD'd on. Did a doctor give him something and then he drank with something and it was this horrible backlash, you know what I'm saying? Or it was a weird mix? Or did he just trying to party and was doing a ton of Molly or some shit? There's a big difference there.
Or did he try to kill himself? I mean,
Definitely didn't. Well, yeah. Well, he probably wouldn't be
know,
at practice Monday. If he is at practice Monday after attempting suicide, the NFL is brutal. Hey, man, we know you want to off yourself. If you could just wait 2 weeks. I look at Antonio Brown. Look at Antonio Brown. He doesn't know where he's at. He's playing. So I'm sure you can play.
What's going on? You got some problems?
Oh, you
Talk
crying?
to me.
You crying? Let's save this for after the
Here's a
season.
teddy bear and a sucker. Get over it and get in there.
For reals. I don't know enough about it to comment really on how bad it is or to compare it to John Jones, say that family's messed up. I don't think so. He also might just like he might like to party.
Is it fair to say that John was the skinny, slow brother among all of them?
Yes.
Wow. He was kind of the nerd.
Yep.
He was the Brendan Schaub to the Brady Quinn, Tim Tebow trio.
Exactly.
My
If
Lord.
we're three brothers. Yeah.
Wow. You used to roll with those three guys. Interesting. You know what?
You're gonna be jacking
Did you
off
look in the
tonight
mirror a
about
lot? Were you like, I'm not pretty anymore? You got that's
Not
a good
really.
that's a good trio
We're
though.
really
That's a
working
good
out.
trio.
it? Yeah.
That'll turn some heads. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Next question.
Weird air.
I was trying-
That's
I was
weird air.
I was trying to think
Yeah.
of my.
W-A,
I was trying to
weird
think
air.
of myself. Yeah.
Like, where do I go with
We
that?
call that
Yeah.
area weird air, everybody.
I look like Sean Penn next to those guys.
All right,
That's
moving
my
through
new
the-
thing, weird air. Whenever there's like that weird, I don't know, weird air.
I look like Caitlyn Jenner next to those two.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not a good in comparison, though, because that would be a woman. And anyway.
Well, she looks like shit.
Brendan, excuse me, sir.
What?
She's beautiful.
How about they force us on
stunning
that?
and brave.
How about they force us on that?
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman. Nah, man.
Not
Looks
my
like
type.
shit from here.
Not my type.
Even with the makeup on Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Looks like shit from here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Bumblebee Tuna, your balls are showing.
Why did you call her Bumblebee Tuna, sir?
Vanity
man.
Fair, Vanity Fair, Bumblebee Tuna, your balls are showing. Your balls are hanging out the front of that one-piece bikini, ma'am.
Sir.
Excuse me, ma'am, your dick is hanging out the front. Yeah, if you could just tuck that in, we could.
I'm gonna have to
We could
ask-
proceed with the photo shoot.
I'm going to have to ask you to.
Excuse me, ma'am, is there a way
Be a
we can
little
get a
more
B&B?
sensitive.
Balls and butt. We need to take the hair off the ass.
You're
It's
going to
hanging
bulldog those nuts?
out. Can you bulldog those nuts if we're gonna bend over for a shot like that?
Sir, I'm going to ask you to be a little more sensitive.
I'm
to-
sorry.
to
Too much?
Caitlin's.
You're right. But hey, man,
transformation.
not attractive. Either way you look at it. Don't tell me that's attractive. Don't tell me what I think's attractive.
The voice is still very strong and bold. Not the voice I look for in a gal. And I'm not saying I don't know about my voice. I have something caught in my throat. I'm not.
You're not
suggesting that.
As long as she's happy, I mean, transgender, great, man, but don't force her on me.
Well, don't make me say she's a brave, beautiful woman, and I don't have to jump on your band.
Yeah, don't give her an ESPY. And
I can think it's a little weird, and
Me
I
too,
can think
man.
she's not that attractive. I'm allowed.
I've seen transsexuals who are very attractive.
Yes,
Very attractive,
I've
and
made
I will.
out with them.
I'm sure I'll be on the road on one of these tour dates, and I'll probably get in some trouble with one.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
Been tricked before.
I bet you have
Been
Evan.
tricked before.
That does not surprise me.
We've all been down that road.
Well-
Brian's grabbed a handful of dick, didn't he?
Sure have.
He did.
Sure
He didn't
have.
go through with it, Evan. That's the difference.
all right.
Next question.
All right. Who is going to headline UFC 200 now that nearly all of the titles have been defended before the event? And how can UFC 200 be the best card ever?
Because you're going to have John Jones and DC on there. And you're going to have Chris
Weidman,
Weidman,
Wow.
Luke Rockhold. And you're going to have, what is it, July?
Should be.
You wouldn't have Connor Dos Anjos, would you?
That's
No,
on
they're
197.
March 4th.
Mm,
You could have there's some good fights out there.
sure.
Because if you could have some really good fights on there.
Maybe CM Punk debut.
100%, which does nothing for me, but for the rest of the fans,
Yeah, of course.
they're gonna go nuts for it. Yeah, you could have CM Punk's debut against a 1-0 guy. Great for the sport. Oh, that's gonna grow our sport. And then you got
CM Punk.
there's a bunch. I bet Robbie Lawler could fight by then. You got to stack it. If Holly Holmes makes quick work of Miesha Tate, which I don't think she will, she could fight Kat Zingano on that. There's all sorts of fights.
Yeah. There it is.
All right.
Ladies and
Next
gentlemen.
one. What's the deal with officialbigbrown.com? Is Brendan in the clickbait business now?
No, I got hacked, son. Someone hacked my shit.
That's annoying.
Took over and started writing all this articles. We had to change all our passwords.
Jesus Christ.
They started. It was like, is it? Come on, guys. You think I'd post? Are these the top 10 bikinis of the summer? I mean, maybe I would, but it's not. It's not even the summer.
BigBrown.com, is that your website?
No, I don't have. My website's tfatk.com.
Oh, I got you. So
It's the only website I wrote.
somebody hacked our TFAT Kate.
No.
Oh,
What?
This is a sound that they hacked your Facebook, yeah?
My Facebook,
Oh, your
yeah.
Facebook.
And they were spamming it.
Was it your personal one?
I think just my family.
Happy
I only,
name.
have, I only have a family. I don't have a personal one.
Okay, gotcha.
The
Happy
personal
name.
ones, yeah, there's a bunch of fake ones.
Somebody's
Either way, none of that stuff. And there's like an article on Chris Weidman. What? I'm not a journalist. I don't write. I don't do that shit.
Yeah. All
Fans figure it out, though.
right.
We should be taken care of.
At least it wasn't, just a lot of dick.
That'd be funnier, and I think people would.
When
know it was hacked.
Rogan got his Twitter hacked or his Instagram or something, he goes, if you see a bunch of
Dicks.
pictures of black cock, you know that I got my Twitter back.
Got my Twitter back. Yeah. Is that it, Ev?
Nope, we got two more.
All right.
All right. Have you ever been the rebound guy and then fell for the girl? I've been seeing this girl for a couple months now. Things have been going great until she started to talk to another guy, and now she fooled around with him, and she told me about it. Should I try to pursue her or leave it as a lost cause? I don't know what to do. Help me out.
Oof, these usually end in heartbreak. I was a rebound dude for this girl, famous girl you guys would know, and I was super into her, but it just wasn't the time. Hurt my feelings pretty bad. Just take it for what it is and move on.
Breakups suck. I don't know what to say about
It's
that.
not it's not even a breakup. Like if you're a rebound and she's just using you to you're like the play toy until she finds something else.
See, I had no problem. Just be the play toy. It's a shelf life. Just be the play toy. And if you really know how to put it down, she'll get attached to you. See, here's the thing about being a rebound guy. If you're funny and cool and you're fucking, I promise you. I promise. If you 9 times out of 10, if you're really, then 9 times out of 10, I
going
guarantee
down?
she's gonna get attached. I mean, if you're really, I'm talking about peeling them beans. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, you're getting.
Hey man,
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to. I don't want to be vulgar, but I mean, if you're getting. No more. Yeah, I'm just getting started. That was an appetizer. Oh, yeah.
that was an appetizer.
Hey, here comes the main course.
Gadoosh
Hey,
dessert.
gadoosh. 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 I got
Cannoli
more
for dessert.
Cialis. More old 48-year-old dick. Balls. Anyway, the point is, if you hit
There you go, man.
Sorry,
There's our advice
Sorry,
for
guys.
you.
That's what my wife deals with. The point is, if you
Take the opportunity and run with it.
yeah. Listen.
What else you got, Ev?
Break her of the curse. She's hung up on the guy. Just break her.
We like to call it dick her down.
Dick her down, and then go eat some more vitamins. Go get your on it in your system, and then dick her down again.
I agree.
That's all. There should be a lot of sweat stains in your bed. You understand? She should get very familiar with the veins in your forehead.
Yeah, no more shit stains. Get them sweat stains.
Sir, why would there be shit stains in the bed, man?
Not in the bed, in his underwear.
All right. I wash my ass in the sink. There, I said
Yeah,
it.
you do.
Hey, man, don't say it out loud. We're on fucking camera.
Dude, you admitted it.
Gotta clean the whistle. Gotta clean the old whistle. Here's the bottom line.
Next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be vulgar, but just if you're on the rebound, it's a shelf life. Have sex, and then if you can,
I don't know what
here it comes again. So that's what I would do.
All right,
Is that
man.
too much, bro?
No, well, I think the kid
When
got
you
it.
when you have your orgasm, what do you do? Do you go UFC, baby? How do you lose?
Too much,
I'm
man.
big and brown with this is white. Like I don't know. What do you do? I'm
Too
just
much,
asking.
man.
I'm asking,
Too
man.
much.
Oh,
You don't want to talk about? Never mind.
Wait,
Hey,
hold
next,
on.
we're
Hold on.
going.
Can
we're
I be
getting
honest
too
with you?
dirty
You're
here.
probably super feminine. You're like, I'm big, but.
What is this?
I had a girl who broke up with a guy because he sounded like a woman when he would have his orgasm.
Really?
Yeah, he'd go, Swear to God. Hey, man, my friend had sex in the other room, and I heard him go, I swear to God.
There's nothing
I was
wrong
like,
with that.
You're not in my inner circle. I knew it. I knew you were like that.
All he was going. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, look.
How do you do it?
How do I do it? There you go. You're fucking welcome. You're welcome. Your life is complete now.
You've earned it. You've earned it.
Earned this. And I whistle as I shoot.
You go. Oh, you've earned it. There you go, bro.
Here you go, brother. There you go. That's you. That's all you, brother.
There you go, brother.
Let's feed this bird. Come on, make like a baby
There
bird.
you go, brother.
Make like a baby bird in the nest.
Flex that back, brother.
Chirp for me, brother. Chirp, you fucking beaked motherfucker. You see where we go? These are gems.
You wanted to go here.
I'm coming. I do that too sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do that.
You've earned it, bro.
Yeah, hey, brother. There you go. Hey, brother.
Hey,
Here it
brother.
comes.
Oh, good dash. I know it's.
I'm about to
slow.
gadoosh. Gadoosh! Oh, sorry about your back. Stay there so I can take a picture. It looks like the map of Hawaii.
All right. Well,
What
next
happened?
question. We're gonna
Let's
get
just,
fired.
let's just wrap it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I
Too
think
much?
that was a good
Is that
one.
it?
That was a good
Good
one.
place
Is
to
that it?
end.
That too
Let's
much?
just end it on
Good
that.
place to end. I got inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You got loose on that.
Yeah.
Tonight, San Diego. Fuck Shamu. Come see us. Too much.
That was so good. Hey, San Diego. Fuck Shamu. Come see the fighter and the kid.
Hey,
You
San
fucking
Diego.
asshole.
Fuck Shamu.
Hey, if
and
you go to
fuck the
SeaWorld,
Chargers.
fuck you.
Instead of paying $100 and looking all fucking goofy at SeaWorld, come see the Fire and the Kid at House of Blues tonight, San Diego.
Anybody who
Let's
doesn't
sell
come,
this
fuck
bitch
off.
out. Yeah. Anyone who doesn't come supports ISIS and Shamu. So fuck you. San Diego, House of Blues, tonight. Bring it. Get tickets now. TFATK.com. Get tickets right now. Sell this bitch
listen,
out.
you motherfuckers. I'll be at the Comedy Mix in Vancouver, January 21, 22, 20 fucking 3 sometime. Just fucking look at tfatk.com for my tour schedule, and you fucking buy tickets. If we don't add an extra show, fuck you.
TFATK.com. San Diego. Come out tonight. This is the Fire and the Kid. We're out. Fuck you, Shamu.